Yo, what's up, LH? What up, DT? Hey, what's up? What's up? What up, gang? Hi, Denny. Happy morning to you. What up, bong water pitch? Who's the guy on the teen? Wait, who's the guy on the teen with no beard? I know a lot of people said that. They're like, what happened to Joseph? Howdy, what up, screen? Yeah, I started to get on my Ron Jeremy energy, if you know what I mean. What's up, Michelle? I look good? Thank you, I appreciate that. It's funny because after I shave him, I was like, I miss the beard. I like the beard. But then it's funny also because my dad used to always wear a mustache, so it kind of makes me reminisce of seeing him. What's up, Michelle? Good morning. What's up, Giuseppe? Amanda, what up? I look fresh. Thank you. Yeah, I just, it's funny. So I always talk about in flow. I just kind of go by how I feel. And I'm like, I just feel like, I feel like changing. A little appearance change of the avatar, the 3D self running around this bad boy. Hello, I like the new look. Thank you, Snowballs. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, he's looking smooth. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. You guys are so lovely. Like, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that. You guys are very lovely. What up, J Rose? Hey, thank you for the heart me. Snowball, I appreciate you. How's everybody doing? Everyone getting their flow on? Just watch a video of kids crying of their dad shaving last night. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you're like, it looks so much different, right? What do you recommend if we had a bad breakup where they feel angry and annoyed now? Well, BA, what I find is that like that whole emotional thing where we think like, oh, hey, we did this, so they're feeling like this. What I found is that's part of the state of just like, of being separated, right? Like, so I'm still mentally placing myself in it. I don't know how many of you observed it, but I was talking about how my brother-in-law passed, and I actually caught myself. You'll normally hear me say, I don't tell somebody, oh, I'm so sorry they went through something. And the reason why is not because I don't care. I care very much. I love people, and I want people to enjoy a lovely life. That's why I do what I do. But I don't want to reinfect them. I don't want to reaffirm or imagine them in a manner that is not loving. However, with my wife, I was doing that where I'm like, oh, she must be so messed up because of this, et cetera, et cetera. And I was seeing her this way. And then she appeared to start being distant, right? So what I was doing is I wasn't imagining. This is why I talk about the importance of like joining the school community, is to continuously remember to live by imagination. Even me, after teaching it and doing it, I still fell victim to imagining based upon appearances instead of imagining based upon seeing my wife as lovely. So I started to have experiences of where she was distant, where she started to appear to pull away, where she appeared to be, and I realized, well, that was because of my imagining. I went, because of this 3D circumstance, she has to be like this. So that's what we're doing when we're experiencing, quote unquote, a appearance change of not seeing our SP, is that we then start imagining based upon 3D proof. We start having inner conversations based upon 3D proof. It's linear is the way we're seeing it. But manifestation isn't that way. Manifestation is the loving relationship exists. It does not exist all simultaneously. And I want to enter into it is the way I want it to be. I want to remain as it's the way I want it to be internally. If that makes sense. Makes sense? Okay, good. Looking sick, Joseph, or slick? Thank you, J Rose. I appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for sharing the live, Amanda. Thank you for the heart me, Anna. Thank you, thank you. What's your take on timing with manifesting SP of the past or manifesting in a time crunch? Maria, it's honestly, like, regardless of circumstances, what kind of feeds in what it was that I was just talking about is that I just go into a loving relationship now, right? Because inwardly. And what I mean by inwardly is when you're talking out here, you're participating in 3D. When I'm talking within, where you can't see what I'm saying to myself, I'm talking to myself in imagination, right? Fundamentally, it's one and the same, but just to paint a picture point, when I'm having a conversation with myself in secret, this is fourth dimensionally. So fourth dimensionally or inwardly, I am talking to myself. I am imagining. I am remembering that everything exists. The kingdom of heaven is within me, and I'm just simply placing myself in that state now. So it's always, regardless of circumstances, I'm the way I desire to be now. Today has been filled with nonstop triggers and bad news, observing, but nervous system is shot. So in bed, I've been fascinating to observe and doing my best to take it seriously and let it inform me. Yeah, voice bubbles. What I find is helpful in that situation is just look to spend time in the silence. Look to just focus on no thing, to just reset. Because when you're there, the mind is now caught up in the storm. It's thinking about the situation. It's imagining to the contrary. You're emotionally relating to these imagining. And it's just doing a bunch of stuff that isn't helpful to you. And what I found is there's not really, you can't fight that. The more you fight it, the more that it seems to perpetrate itself. So just take time in the silence. Ryan, thank you for the heart, me brother. I appreciate that. Bean Flicker. What up, Bean Flicker? You're welcome, BA. Thank you for the question. That was a lovely discussion. Brian, thank you for the Go Popular, brother. Appreciate you. I think this is the right approach. Glow, thank you for sharing the live. What's up, Glow? What up, Source? Cool name. Love that name. Hello. AIA, thanks for sharing the live. I appreciate you very much. I'm always so happy to see you live. Thank you, Bane. I'm always so happy you're here. I changed my TikTok name so I wouldn't be called Emoji anymore. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. What up, Denny? You and your buddy are the best. Oh, thank you so much, Bean Flicker. Appreciate that. You shaved your beard, you look so different. Yeah, I agree. My avatar is appearing different for sure. Thank you. You're welcome, Source. It is the most helpful to me so far, removing, not adding. Yeah, voice bells, like the more and more that you do this, you're going to find, like, I promise you, you don't have to add anything on. I wish that you guys could see you the way that I see you or the way that I see things. Like, you are absolute perfection. There is not anything to do or to think to add this on. You're in your loving relationship. There's nothing to do or think to add this on to you. You're abundant by default. There's nothing for you to think or add for you to experience this. The only thing that's stopping you is that you keep imagining that you're not. That's it. That's why that frog, everyone loves that frog cup that we have, is because it's real. It's like, the problem is not that you're not doing enough affirmations. I know you guys are all trying. That's not a problem. The problem is that you are viewing yourself as not already being the way that you desire to be. That's it. That is fundamentally the only problem, right? Like, if I look back when I was doing sales, or I was going on dates, or I met my wife, I was not in a place of, I need this. Oh my God, I hope, please, 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 please. I need this. It was like I was just flowing and enjoying myself. And then my lovely relationship flowed, sales flowed. Everyone seems in harmony with me. So you see, the only thing that stops me from experiencing my loving relationship is this continuous need for a control, for this forcing, for this affirmations. That's it. This is why everybody that's like, I've had 10 people message me in the last 5 days that are part of the school community that have manifested their person. There's a reason why, like, and they're flowing. That's all they're doing. They're flowing. They're not affirming, because I don't talk about affirming. They are flowing, and 10 people in the last 5 days. How beautiful is that? I remember, and even now when I go on Reddit, 90% of messages I see is either A, pro advice, I wish I would have learned this 17 years ago or whatever it is, Or B, I'm struggling, someone please help me. This is all I see. This is what I see on Facebook. This is what I see everywhere I go. And then 1 out of 10 posts is somebody succeeding. In the school community, I see people every day, multiple people every day that are succeeding to manifest their desire. The reason why is simply because when you're in flow, which is all we talk about in the school community, you manifest what you love. It's a byproduct. It's just how it works. Joseph, can I join you on your lives? What's up, Austin? Yeah, brother. I don't typically do calls until later. In the first little bit, I give people an opportunity that don't feel comfortable video chatting to answer their questions. And then near the end, we have a couple of people come on and we do pretty much a live coaching session for them. I make more when I work less, but I get anxious when I don't work. Exactly correct. Exactly correct. I was just talking about that with Ryan. I was like, dude, when I did coaching, I did a life coach, right? This was probably about 4 years ago. I hired a life coach. He cost me $1,500 for 5 hours. 5 hours. $1,500. He was a millionaire. You know what I observed when I did coaching with him? He did absolutely nothing for me. Nothing. So how did he make $1,500? Was it to do with his work, his value? No. It was his belief about himself. He saw himself as valuable, which then put me in a position to see him as valuable. Is Jeff Bezos working his ass off? Every time I see him, he's on a picture of a yacht with his wife. Now, this isn't a take away from the fact that he did build a company and did do some work. But the point is that hard work does not make you more money. So the thing is then is that it is you in mind seeing yourself as valuable, and then life expresses to you that you're valuable for no reason. Here's the thing. How many times, and I've seen this in business, I share with everybody you should be an entrepreneur. And the reason why is because you purify your mind. I noticed in business, I wanted to over-deliver. Why would I over-deliver unless I don't see myself as valuable? Is my presence not valuable enough to make a revenue? It is. So why the over-delivering? Why the doing so much effort and this, and let me do this, and I did that in my relationship with my wife. Let me try harder. What does that articulate? That belief is stating my presence isn't enough. So I need to do more, right? But then what I would observe then is when I did that is it didn't appear as though it was enough. So again, my belief was being perpetrated back to me. So what I realize is the more valuable that I realize that I am, the less effort that I put into things. Doesn't mean less value, because I add a crazy amount of value, but it means less effort, less trying to be valuable, and instead being valuable, if that makes sense. So that's a discussion I had with Ryan yesterday about the school community, is that the school community is a crazy amount of value. I mean, I charge $200 an hour for a coaching session. I'm giving 4 calls a week for $40. The value is off the charts, right? So I was having unsure beliefs of, I need to do this. No, it's... What up, Alex? Bet I need to hear this because I have an interview next week. Yep. What up? Fine and Truth. Love it. What's up, brother? Dude, I'm so glad to see you on here. Fine and Truth. Mystical. What up, Danielle? Hello, 75's a master manifester. Hope you're doing good. Thank you, Joe. Same to you. Glad you're here. Did you fall asleep on last live on Alex's live? Dean, what up, Dean? Oh my God, you shaved. I did. Word. Awesome. You doing your own lives, brother? You doing your own lives? I love that, dude. I love that. I'm happy for you, brother. Good to see you live again. I am grateful you're here again. Anna, thank you for the Go Popular. Dean, thank you for the rose. I'm happy I manifested a job for my cousin. He was struggling almost a year. I made the decision, and it happened in 3 days. Props to you, and that's very lovely to observe that you use your imagination lovely on another's behalf. Don't miss them unless I need my beauty sleep. I feel it. Becca, Dean, thank you for the roses, guys. Mustache flows strong, by the way. bro. Oh, thank you, Damanu. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm in my bag right now. Amazing. What up, Becca? Austin, yes, you were. We all assumed you fell asleep. Got to get your beauty sleep, Austin. I don't judge you, brother. I'm not manifesting my SP anymore. I already have him. The 3D is just lagging. It's funny because that's the realization I came to every time right before I experienced my loving relationship outside of me, is that it's like, what can I do? I'm already in a loving relationship. Just it. I love Alex. I didn't even join the chat. J Rose, thank you for the harmony. I meant to say it was late as fuck. I'd Austin laughed my ass off. SB asked to hang out, but said, no, I want to make sure I'm the only one he's with. Is that sabotaging? Well, Carrington, a question to me, or a question that I would ask you, is who decides in your reality if your SB is loyal to you? Just a question to ponder. You have a soothing voice. Not surprised anyone falls asleep and when it becomes subliminals. You know what's funny you just said that, Joe? Because I was thinking of doing some subliminals, like truthful ones. Like ones where it's like, I am perfect as I am now. For no reason. I am love for no reason. My existence is fulfillment. Things like this where it's like lovely subliminals. But thank you for saying that. Yo, Joseph, we're talking about Alexander. You'd connect with him well. Could see a collab between you. I don't think I know an Alexander, to be honest, or at least an Alexander isn't popping in mind. Carrington, thank you. You're welcome. Yes, please do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do it for the school community. I decided that like once a week I'm gonna drop something very lovely for you guys. Yo. Thank you for the manifesting, just Joe. Thank you. I appreciate you, Joe. Manifesting subliminals now. Ryan is killing it on TikTok, by the way. Is he actually? Very, very cool. Yeah, I'd love to do it. Like anybody that's into conscious creation or you know, things like this, or they're more of talking about being, I'd love to collab with them. I'm very big on it. I'd love to have conversations with people like that. Thank you for the heart puff, Denny. I appreciate you. I mentioned Alex to you. He's part of the group collecting I told you about. Yeah, I don't know an Alex that I'm aware of. Maybe I do. I just, if I saw a face, I'd probably know. How to respond to SB in 3D when he's not too responsible in text. I don't want to look clingy. Noel, the thing is that this is all, just release it. Allow yourself to be perfect as you are in the moment. Allow yourself to be in your loving relationship now. And don't allow yourself to judge based upon appearances. It's fundamentally just that. Like, look at this. Like, when I see the news is not suggesting to me that there's problems in the world. Now, I could suggest that to myself, absolutely. But when I'm saying something to myself, I am imagining. Nothing inherently has meaning in my reality. I decide. So your SP responding is up for interpretation so many ways. Number one, you could not imagine based upon what you're saying, right? Number two, you could imagine based upon what you're saying, but seeing it with a lovely meaning. He's taking a long time because he loves me, or he doesn't want to mess up something like this, or he's thinking of planning a beautiful date. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about this. But my main point is that your outside reality doesn't suggest anything. Only you suggest to yourself what the outside means. Yo, thank you for the go popular times 100, J-Rose. Holy shit. Alexander Twain, he's so chill. Really? Yeah. I don't know if he'd be open to it. I'd be down. You guys want to conversate with him about it? I'm always open to lovely conversation. I find the best conversations happen when I am discussing it with another person that is conscious. That's where some of the best information I observe is experienced. So I love those. That's why I do lives now instead of content creation. I realized a lot of content creation was taking the beautiful passion or energy that'll come out of me when I'm in the middle of responding to something. Dude, what are you guys are going fucking nuts. Yo, Source, thank you for the heart and mustache, or the hat and mustache. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the corn, Source. Thank you for the roses, J Rose. Dude, you guys are going crazy. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. You know, let's actually let's do something a little fun today. Let's have Austin. Would you mind sending an invite, please, so we can get you on? It actually might be cool. Let's just. I'm kind of actually feeling in flow about us just having a couple of people on here and just kind of vibing. You know. Yo, what's up?
Give me just a moment. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're good, bro. You're good.
Yo, I'm loving the shave and the stash, dude.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, I'm on my Ron Jeremy vibe right now.
Oh, that's funny.
Tell me what your SP was feeling when manifesting her. She said that she was feeling just like a continuous pull to me, almost like a good way of describing it is like if you're trying to quit nicotine or caffeine, and like you're having that continuous urge to want to get that substance. It was very similar to that. In the school community, John West is amazing. Agreed, Denny.
Yeah, 100%.
Agreed, Denny. I love him. 11, thank you for the rose.
I wanted to point something out. There was a comment earlier, and just a little nuance to being the awareness. Source had commented he's dating. I don't know if it's a here now. I'll leave that. They're dating someone. They're dating others while manifesting their SP to build self-confidence. And I just wanted to point out, it always comes from within you. It's self-confidence. We can put it on other things, and it appears we're getting more confident, but it's only because that thing is there. The moment something appears to be unideal or the opposite, then we lose the self-confidence because it wasn't coming from within. So I'm not telling you to do it or not to do it, but your confidence is because you recognize who you are. It's not from someone outside of you.
Here is Alexander Joseph. Who? Are you talking about Austin?
I'm trying. Alec, what's his name?
No, Alex is not me.
What's up, Bob?
What's up, brother?
Doing good, guys. How are you?
Phenomenal, dude. I commented on your TikTok videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. I remember now. Okay.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing.
Thanks, man. I mean, I'm not necessarily pushing to be content, but there's no way I can't share the message that I hear for the truth that it is. Right.
Yeah.
It would be nice. It would be nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I won't do it at some point. Maybe I got to gather my confidence in regards to what I'm learning, but I know it's the truth.
Amen, brother. Yeah, and I love that you're doing what you feel. I used to listen to Joseph Rodriguez all the time. He'd say, I listen to how I feel to make decisions. When I find is it just like I always felt like doing this. I always felt like doing content creation, but then my brain would say, well, can you do it? Do I know enough? Am I having imposter syndrome? Am I going to be able to make a career out, et cetera, et cetera? And if I would have just listened to what I feel, that would have saved me so much, because how you feel is in alignment with like how you desire to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as long as you allow yourself to be that, that's the truth of what is. That's what's crazy too. When you talk about conscious manifestation and like let's talk about specific people, because obviously that's the reason that most people are here right now. Would you feel good if you had them or you didn't have them? And that's the truth of what is, right? Like you always have to be in that state of bliss regardless, because if you weren't in that state of bliss when you were with this person, that's what caused you to not be with this person, right? Because you created scenarios and stories in your head that have eventually pushed you to push them away or create scenarios that you didn't think were favorable, and you could only perceive those things, therefore you projected it onto them and they had no choice but to agree with you.
You got it, brother. You know the key to the kingdom. That's it. That's it. That's why I always tell people to catch the feeling. I've kind of steered away from it a little bit because I realized that the intention behind that, it was accurate, was that I wanted to take people out of their mind and I wanted them to respond with a sensation of their body. But what I find is most people are going, what would the feeling feel like? And then they're turning it into a dialogue of more thoughts, which is like the opposite. I found that, and I think as you get better at meditation, you can then do that suggestion. But for me, it was just a simple, I go into silence, ask what the feeling would feel like, and I could catch the sensation that it was that way. I started feeling this love, and I started feeling gratitude and etc. And what I realized is that I would get very quick feedback from my environment when I did that, when I could catch it. Because as you beautifully put, when I was feeling the fear, when I was feeling the tension, when I was feeling all these different emotions, what I was assuming was that I was not in a loving relationship, hint the emotional response in my body.
Yep.
But I feel like that's more of kind of like a advanced thing where as you realize your inner body, as you realize how creation works, you can simply do it because you understand. But what I found is that what I'm observing is a lot of people take this and then they make it a mind thing. And then they want to think about it, which in the think about it then goes to, well, I'm not doing it right. Well, this isn't and then it's creating more of what they don't want.
Right, which was the whole premise of where they were at in the relationship before. Like
Yeah.
you haven't changed at all, right? Like you're still viewing things unfavorably, and that's what that's when it all comes back to self. It's like, okay, if I had this right now, how would I feel? Do I actually want to choose peace and love, or am I just identifying with the old self and all the old circumstances that tell me that I'm not that? And it's very easy to do that based upon our ego. But when you really step back and realize that I've been choosing all these feelings for myself. None of these things happen outside of me. There is no emotional response, or there is no perspective that I would gain outside of myself. Even if it looks unfavorable, that's okay. But how am I going to choose to perceive this thing?
Exactly. Because no thing has a meaning. The news doesn't make me imagine. My SP doesn't make me imagine. I imagine what I think that my SP is, right? So like that's an important thing and this is what I always tell people. You got to take responsibility. You got to reverse engineer and look back what you did prior. Don't take what I'm saying as fact. Look back in your life and see at the times. Like I can remember times where I convinced myself, where I started feeling anxiety when I was around a chick or something like this. And then I talked to myself and I'm like, she likes me. That emotion went from anxiety and fear and needing to I'm the shit. I started feeling confident. And then I would see that she liked me, right? So you see this. I used to do this, but the moment that I share it, people are like, no, it can't be like that. It has to be this. Well, no, your assumption, your emotional state is in direct proportion to what thoughts you're suggesting. It's just how it works. It's very common neuroscience. If I think a thought and it's a positive thought, I will feel good. If I think a negative thought, I will feel bad. This is just, simple third grade level understanding of things, right?
Yeah, and once you realize that you're the only person giving yourself those experiences, the whole game changes, right?
Yeah.
Once you realize that nothing outside of you has power over you, and it's really easy to say that, right? Because when you are faced with a circumstance that's contrary to what your desire is, it's very easy to just give in to that, as opposed to just assuming that it's in your favor. And it doesn't have to make sense, right? There is no logic to this shit. There is no. But I've seen multiple scenarios turn around based on the way that I assumed that I was, even though I walked away. I didn't walk away with my head down, but I walked away from the situation with it being unfavorable, but I still assumed who I was in my own secrecy, in my own closet, go to the closet and pray to God. And then but everything turned out the way that I had known it to be, regardless of whether things had shown themselves to me that way initially or not. And I think that's the strength of faith and belief.
Absolutely. I agree. What up, Maria? What's up, Sammy? Yeah, I agree with you completely, brother. That's thank you guys. Thank you for the friendship bracelet, Joe. Thank you. Like you guys are going to absolutely. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for all the gifts. You guys are absolutely lovely. What up, Carrie? What's up, Caleb? How you doing, brother?
By the way, Ryan is fucking killing it on these TikTok videos. I promise, dude. I told you that earlier.
Ryan?
Dude, yeah. For
Yeah.
real. The stuff you're saying, 100%, 100%. I liked a couple videos earlier, man. I know exactly what you're on. It's the truth, man. It's the truth.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Ryan's fire, bro. Ryan is so fire.
I wouldn't assume him as your friend otherwise.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate
So,
that.
I guess maybe some lore here. Like how long have you and Ryan been talking, and how much did you implore your knowledge on, I guess, the law to Ryan when he was dealing with the circumstances that he was dealing with?
What, Ryan? We've been talking pretty much about maybe 7 months, 8 months, something like this.
Nah, it's been we first talked a year ago,
Oh shit.
October, about October 24th. And yeah, much like Joseph, I got into it through Think and Grow Rich, The Secret, and I did it when I was younger without really knowing what I was doing, and
I think we all do, right?
yeah, 100%, and because we're always manifesting, and I guess it's the awareness of what we're doing, what is happening. But what Joseph really helped with was presence and really getting into flow. And he's dropped so many gems on being in flow that were just eye-opening moments, and his ability to be present. I mean, what you guys see is who he is all the time. And so it's really incredible just to be around because it sucks you into it. So he's the real deal.
Thank you, brother. That was lovely to observe. Appreciate you.
So had you already been through your manifestation journey before you had talked to Joseph, or did you gain some insight from them?
Yeah, like I said, I've manifested other things, but with the SP, I was on my 6th time, and I was really frustrated because I know the law and I've manifested her back, and it was just like the same pattern, and I'm like, this is really frustrating, and I was so focused on the techniques and what I'm doing, and Joseph really got me into just being present, and I instead of looking, because the ego kind of evolved, and before I was focused on the outside circumstances, and it just shifted to me focusing on the techniques and what I felt like before, and I'm not feeling like this now, so maybe I need to shift this, and okay, this kind of feels like it, and it was just like so overanalyzing everything, and so yeah, talking and working with Joseph really got me to focus on who I'm being. Stop focusing on whether I did the right thing, whether this is working, whether it's not, the 3D, just be. And so as I was being, everything shifted.
Yeah, it's crazy because like, would you not be in that ideal state of awareness and consciousness when you were with your specific person, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's truly about loving yourself and appreciating and respecting yourself at all times of the day, at all days of the week, all months of the year, and those things will naturally be added on to you.
Yeah, and I love what you said earlier. That was one of the things that hit me, and what really kept me going and persisting was when you were talking about, am I any different? It's like this has happened 5, 6 times. Am I any different now? I keep seeking something outside of myself. So if she came back today, why would it be any different?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and really, when you're trying to repair a relationship, it's like, I want you to see that I've changed. I want you to see this. And it's like, well, have I really changed? Like, yeah. I'm still just seeking the relationship that we had.
Yep.
But that was based on me.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild because really the truth to the self is all that is. And I mean, like, I'm not necessarily here to be in denial or pessimistic, but really the only thing that you wish to experience is yourself in a blissful state, right?
Yeah.
So whether that involves the person that you think it does or not, that's the letting go and letting God. But I mean, like also like when God gives you your desires, like you may not see it for a year, 2 years, 5 years. You may not see it for 6 months. You may not see it for 3 months. But that desire inside of you is innate, and you cannot get rid of it. That's the whole point of like understanding that you don't choose your desire. God gave you the desire for you to experience and fulfill through Him. Therefore, you're going to experience it as long as you accept yourself as that. And you don't need to worry about how it's going to happen. And a lot of people are so caught up in time and how when this needs to happen, well, this person manifested this person in 1 month or 6 months or 1 year. It's like, dude, you really have no idea. But that desire is innate within you, so therefore it will be fulfilled as long as you accept yourself as that person. And that's really all you need to do.
100%.
I'm in complete agreement. Yeah, it really is that a desire fundamentally points towards the fact that you are it,
Yeah.
and that is the whole entire point behind it. And here's the thing: is like I find the more that I'm in flow, the only thing that ever made me feel like I needed something or where I had that addiction, much like a drug, was the ego. The ego needed an attempt to fulfill itself. It needed an attempt to complete itself, to get something so that it felt better. And so the journey really blessed me because I realized that, well, my existence is fulfillment for no reason. My existence is love for no reason. My existence is abundance for no reason. My presence is value for no reason. And so it stops being about doing, getting, becoming, looking for proof and validation, and starts becoming of, I love experiencing expressions of this truth. And so I love experiencing my loving relationship. I don't get anything from it because how could I get something if I'm awareness? Awareness is not a thing, yet it's everything. It doesn't get anything from anything. It experiences itself is all it is. So if there's any need, want, holding on to its ego every time, because who I actually am, who you actually are, cannot obtain anything. It only experiences. And when I can maintain that, well, I don't have a fear of losing anymore because the self-made self doesn't have an identity around being married. So there's nothing for it to lose because it doesn't exist. And so it's all about just about being in that flow where you realize that my existence is bliss. So in that way, I go for a walk, I experience bliss and love. I have a conversation, I experience bliss and love. I have a talk with my wife, I experience bliss and love. I hang out with my kid, I experience bliss and love. My state is not conditional upon a thing, yet my state also conditions all things. So everything I come in contact with is lovely. Everything I come in contact with is harmonious. But the reason why it appears that way is because that is who I am being. And so that's all I can see, right? There were some things I'm not going to go into. I'm not in a debate or cause. There was several things on the news within the last couple of weeks. Now, it was an opportunity to see a lot of unideal, there was an opportunity for the mind to see this as a manner of, life could be like this, life could be like that, etc. I'm not going to put any ideals in anybody's in mind. My perception was all I saw was love. All I saw was fellowship. All I saw was bliss. All I saw was consciousness expanding. And that happened automatically. Well, why? Because the state that I'm in provides the filter for reality that I see. And so if I see anything, if I see you as not perfect, has nothing to do with you. There's something in my eye that needs to be fixed. Because you're perfect as you are. The only place I could ever see you as being other than perfect as you are is in mind. Because the reality is you are perfect as you are. Right. Everybody is perfect as they are.
You could try to convince me 100 times over again that you're not perfect, and I'll tell you otherwise, right?
Yep.
Can I just say, Joseph, that was a bar. I'm stealing that, man. What you just said was the state is not conditioned by anything, and yet it conditions all things. There's nothing else to say.
Yeah, and you're only ever going to experience what that is. That's the power, thou shalt have no power over me unless given to from above. And he who delivered me unto you has the greatest sin. I'm always going to be the greatest sinner in my life if I give myself an unfavorable perspective or circumstance. Even though it's hard, even though it might be tough, things may appear contradictory, but I always have the power. So every time in the last week, I was sitting there thinking I'm the only person that ever makes myself feel bad. That was a really harsh truth for me to come to. I was like,
Yeah.
but that's the truth of all that it is. You know, it's like I'm not a victim to my reality. I'm the creator of it.
Mm.
Mm.
So anytime that I feel bad in the last week, I've sat there and been like, oh, I'm doing this to myself. And it's immediately gone. Immediately gone. I'm like, oh, I'm doing this to myself. Anytime I have a contradictory thought or the idea that things aren't going the way that I want to, it's immediately like, oh, I'm doing this to myself. Why would I do this to myself? That's stupid. No one's doing it.
Yeah. It's all the time. One of the rock songs I listen to, I wouldn't talk to my friends the way I talk to myself. And it's, Joseph brought that up last week. It's like we pay attention to all the conversations we have at work. We're on our best behavior, our really good friends. We're uplifting, we're supportive. But as soon as we get home, the walls are down and we just absolutely go in on ourselves. And we have no accountability. There's no one watching us, so we just let loose. And that's the most important conversation you're going to have.
Yeah, it's in the world. It's literally the only place I can say whatever I want to. I could be a crazy ass out here, which often I observe myself doing it in a fun manner. I enjoy it. But what I do within me is always from a premise of love and bliss. You don't see it, right? You don't see what I'm saying. And the funny thing is, it is the most important thing is what am I saying within me? I can say whatever I want to you out here. I can do whatever I want to. Like I always talk about with the car analogy. I, in my mind, say, hey, I'm not going to see a single cop. I'm going to do 150 miles an hour in my car. I won't get pulled over. What do I experience? Exactly that, because what I'm doing within me is far more important than what I do externally. And so vice versa, I could say, well, I'm not going to get I'm going to get a ticket today for doing when I get in my car, I'm going to do a ticket. I could do everything I want to drive perfectly, to follow the speed limit, to stay in the lines, and I'm still going to get pulled over. So that's just showing proof that what I am saying to myself is far more important than what I'm doing out here, how people perceive me. In fact, it really doesn't even matter anything out here.
Yeah, I found that people only perceive me how I perceive myself.
Yeah.
And even if they don't show me evidence immediately, it doesn't change my perception of myself.
Agreed. On God. I love these conversations. This is what I wanted to do my whole entire life.
I remember one thing you said a couple months ago, Joseph. You were like, I'm in my bag. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
I'm in my bag.
Yeah, you know, I've always liked to keep things partly serious because creating your reality is, you know, it's it's an important thing. And it's why you're here, is to experience yourself in greater and greater states of consciousness. But that it's always about just like having fun and fucking around, you know, because just beautifully and uniquely be you, however that looks.
Well, I think I've been in the manifestation community for a while, and you know, upon studying your content from the time you started uploading on YouTube, I think there was a stark difference between you just becoming the person you were unapologetically, and just being happy with who you are, which is the whole point of everything that I believe that you talk about, which is like, if I am who I desire to be right now, would I not be happy? Would I not be blissful? Would I not be satisfied? Because I'm not looking for any change. When we talk about manifestation as far as the definition goes, it's like, if it's inside first, outside second, I would not need anything outside of me to change. But though the circumstances and the 3D reality don't show me that, if I don't need it to change, therefore it already is what I need it to be. I think that's one of the biggest paradoxes that people face because we use our five senses, right? Maybe six if you want to get into manifestation. But like, you know, it's about being it to see it, and it's been so difficult to believe that I already am the person that I desire to be, regardless of what is going on outside of me. Those desires are fulfilled through God. Therefore, I don't need to obsess over them. I don't need to think about them. I don't need to sit here and affirm. I don't need to wonder whether or not I'm being that person. And I never did any of this shit for anything that I've ever had in my life. So now that I'm aware of how it works, why should I be worried about it?
Yeah.
I agree, Bo. And thank you for acknowledging that, because it was funny. I had a shit in my mind too, where I realized I was trying to be too much like Neville. I was trying to be too much, and I'm like, listen, the only information that makes this unique is me being me. That's it. Because otherwise, manifestation has been talked about from fucking Neville and everybody else, if that's what fit everybody, no one else would have YouTube channels, which isn't the case. So the thing is, I've realized, and this is what I realize, how successful I am in my business is how often that I release flow breakers. How successful I am in my marriage is how often I release flow breakers, which means how often I don't identify with information that suggests that I'm not the way I want to be, or I'm not capable of doing what I want, or I'm not worthy. If I don't entertain these things, guess what fills my mind? Because I can't have two thoughts at one time. I can either have thoughts of self-doubt, I can have thoughts of failure, I can have thoughts of problems, or I can have thoughts of creativity, I can have thoughts of bliss, I can have thoughts of love. I cannot have both at the same time. So then, to me, it's not more about adding more thoughts. It's about removing thoughts to suggest that I am not the way I desire to be. That's it. And guess what will happen? I'm going to think something. If I'm not permitting unideal thoughts, what's going to happen? Ideal thoughts are going to come by default.
Right.
That is it. That's it. And that's all that happens. I'm like, I am fucking me. And in my mind, I just, no matter if I'm silly or I'm not silly, it's ideal. And I just stay there. And so then everything rearranges to show me that I'm ideal.
Yeah, if I am all things, all I need to do is subtract the things that I don't wish to experience.
Yeah. So true. I always say, just don't imagine the contrary. Don't worry about affirming. Don't worry about any of the stuff. Just don't imagine the contrary. You'll catch the knowing. You'll catch the mood. Everything will flow from that, I promise.
Yeah, and really, if you look back on a lot of people who have experienced an unfavorable relationship that they're trying to get back, what did you do? You thought about the things that were unfavorable. You thought about the things that you didn't want to experience. Even though if you're all things and you have all these thoughts, you are literally every thought that ever existed. All you need to do is remove the thoughts that you do not wish to experience. And when you take accountability and know that you're the only person giving yourself those thoughts, it becomes rather easy, because you don't want to victimize yourself. You don't want to be a masochist, right? I mean, live a life like that until now, right?
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, this has been a lovely conversation, and this is why I love having people come on and talking, is because I feel like the best conversations always come in the middle of conversations discussing flow or manifestation. There's just such profound, beautiful things come out of it. LH, amen. Amen. I agree. Period. On God. Source. Hook it up with Alex, if you know him. Tell him let's vibe.
What's this Alex guy's name?
Alexander Dwayne. He's solid, man. He's a really dope person. He would love this conversation right now.
Alexander Dwayne.
Mm-hmm. I just followed you. By the end of this conversation, I'll send you his profile if somebody else doesn't, because there's a couple people in here that love tuning into his lives. I know that for sure.
Oh, he does lives as well?
Yeah, he's all about it, man.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be dope, dude. I'm doing Ryan and I are doing one with Danny. I don't know if you know who Danny is, and then also Internal Game. We're gonna do a one, but it'd be cool to keep doing these.
Oh, dude, I love Internal Game. He's
fire.
I started paying attention. Like, it was about a year ago, actually, I started paying attention to him, and I was like, I don't know. And then I started paying attention to like his state of awareness and state of being, and I was like, okay, like this is the truth. This is all it is. Like, there is nothing else you need to seek except for what he's talking about right here.
Eternal Game is fire, bro. My favorite. Well, I have three of them. I love my collaboration with Ryan. I love my collaboration with Joseph Rodriguez. Joseph Rodriguez, I think, was probably my favorite, just because, like, dude, I watched him for 5 or 6 years. Before I even got into content creation. And he was the one that helped me bridge like Neville and Eckhart Tolle to manifestation. And so that was my favorite collaboration. But I loved Internal Games. I love Ryan's as well.
By the way, congratulations. What it was you talked about having a collaboration with somebody, Joseph?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Yeah.
No, who's the guy that's in deep with Joe Dispenza? It's Alex, I think it's. Hold on a second.
I don't know if it was Joe Dispenza, because I'm trying to think. Joe Dispenza. I know him and Greg Braden they used to travel together. You mentioned Eckhart Tolle, but
No, Greg Braden. Did you mention getting a collaboration with him?
No.
No, I was gonna do
Greg
one from
Braden,
Brian
amazing.
Tracy, which I did, but it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be me actually like having like a conversation with them, but it was just like we took a photo and stuff together. That was it. I was part of like a newsletter.
So
Yeah,
that
it was.
was
It wasn't what I thought it was gonna be, honestly.
Brian Tracy is okay.
Greg Braden, the man is the truth too. He has so many good videos. He does.
You know, it was really crazy because when I started studying these things, I couldn't understand Joseph at first. Like I really couldn't. Like the things that he was saying, I was like, I don't conceptualize my desires with this. And then eventually it got to the point where he's like, oh, all you need to be is yourself. And I was like, oh, okay. And honestly, you helped bridge that gap for me with him. I love listening to Joseph Rodriguez now because he's
Mm.
talking about the exact same thing, which is that you are all that you desire to be. So there's nothing to look for, and all these things will be added on to you. I mean, it's scripture, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's lovely to observe. It's so cool because Joseph said he's been following my work and stuff, which is just like it was cool to observe that because, like I said, I mean, he was just kind of like it's kind of like someone meeting The Rock when they were a kid and they saw a bunch of Disney movies and stuff. It was just like one of those things for me. And the cool thing is, I sent him a message. I don't know whether or not he's in agreement with it, but I want to have him come into the school community that we have and speak like once a month because he's just, to me, he's like so in flow in all aspects of life that it would just be a lovely conversation to have him. And it would be mutually beneficial because he could sell that as a reason to join his school is because he doesn't really interact with anybody on a face-to-face basis. It's usually at least that I'm aware of. He conversates and then people will text. This gives an opportunity to actually be there and ask questions, which I think would be just a lovely, lovely experience.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's worth that and more by all means. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the thing I love about him is his level of acceptance. I think that's really where he comes to for me as if I were to observe him just at a face point. Like his level of acceptance is bar none.
I agree, and I think the reason why is just because of like what he says, where he realizes that its existence is fulfillment. So there's like acceptance fundamentally. What I find acceptance means or non-acceptance is, well, let's look at when I react to something. I'm reacting because the personality, not who I am, but the personality is seeing that this thing outside suggests that something isn't the way that it needs it to be. So it's suggesting that it lacks something, which is obviously untrue because you aren't the personality. You're not the fictional self that's reacting to this simulation. You're the awareness that is fulfillment itself, where everything comes from. And so in that simple moment, obviously you just realize, well, I am the way I desire to be. And that's all you need to do because that is fundamentally the truth. And then you release it on true condition. Well, then that results in you being in flow in a situation where before you would be reactive. And funny enough, though, that situation, that thing then reaffirms to show up as in harmony with you, which shows that the only reason why that thing appeared that way is because you were reactive or identified. If you weren't identified, that thing in and of itself would have never been that way. Like, for instance, my wife, I would always emotionally respond and be either resentful or have this painful emotion in my stomach. Was how reactivity happened for the body that I would observe. And it was always, oh no, I'm not getting what I want. And she would keep showing up this way and she could get shown up this way and I'd put in more effort and I would keep thinking and affirming and making this happen, please, 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 please. And then she would just go further and further away. And then what I realized is the times where she's extremely lovely, I had none of that, which means that I was already in the loving relationship consciously. And so she could still have appearances where she'd say, no, I don't want to do something because maybe she didn't feel like it, which had nothing to do with me. And yet I wouldn't react. So you see, it's only dependent on the state of consciousness I'm in, where I see these things that if I was in a different state, I wouldn't see. I'd only see love because that's what I see now. My wife says, oh no, I don't want to do that. I only see her lovingly. Whereas before it would be, oh no, she's doing this, which must mean I'm not loved. And so you see, it's like, that's the whole point behind it is, stay in fulfillment, stay in bliss, and then I won't possibly be able to see anything that's in disharmony. It's impossible for my state of consciousness.
Yeah, and this goes for everyone who's manifesting a specific person. Because regardless of what you choose to see under any circumstance, it's always your perspective. So truth and reality will mold around your perspective based on that awareness of being. So just as much as you decided to see this person lovingly in the moment when things were apparently going well, and then you started looking at things around you and being like, oh, this is a reason for me to not be in fulfillment. Therefore, you created that scenario, you created that circumstance. This person was separate from you because you view them that way. But just as much as you can do that while they're here, you can also do that while they're not here. You can do that while they're 1,000 miles away, or this person says, I don't love you. You can still look at that in a favorable way.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of everything, because you're only ever experiencing your perspective, idea, or relatability to your consciousness.
Yeah.
Therefore, even when things don't look good, even when things are argumentative or rough, you can still observe them in a positive perspective. Is that easy? Well, it's just as easy as you say it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
Absolutely.
And unironically, magically, you will see these things, even if you're in 5 years of no contact, even if you are in a situation where you think things would never be worked out because you're so anxious about how they're going to come together.
Yeah.
When really the only thing that you need to do is just be yourself, and those things will come to you. You don't need to worry about who you're being. You don't need to worry about like, oh, fuck, when we finally talk to each other again, am I going to say the right thing? Well, if I'm being that person, then I'm automatically going to say the right thing, right? But as long as I feel happy and blissful in who I am, that's going to be the right move. Not the person who is wondering about whether or not I'm making the right move or not.
Mm.
I love that you said that. I used to say that when I was coaching people, and I would talk to guys, and they would always ask that. They'd be like, I'm sitting here, and she called. What will I say? Did I say this right? Oh no, what does she think? And I said, what you just said verbatim. Focus on being the right person, be the right version of you, and you will always say the right thing. Well, stop focusing on saying the right thing.
Yeah, you don't want disharmonious things, so why do you believe that you would say that when the opportunity presents itself?
Yeah.
What up, Christina? It is gold. These guys are on fire. Please post this one. It's good. We will.
It just comes down to self-trust and self-love, and that's the thing. Is like, if I'm in the state of loving and trusting myself, then you know what? I don't give a fuck. It's just like, I think Joseph has reiterated on this multiple times. Like, you get to the point where you're like, I don't give a fuck what happens, because I'm so happy. Yeah. I'm so blessed and filled in being myself that even if I quote unquote perceive my idea of saying the wrong thing in order to get this the way that I have to happen the way that I wanted it to, I didn't say the wrong thing because I'm being who I am. Yeah. And that's the most important aspect of any of this. Yeah. But you're always going to attract what you are and what you desire, and you didn't ask for your desire. It came to you.
Yeah. That's fact.
We'll be uploading this live for sure, Christina. We will.
Yeah, Austin, you have great energy too, man. It's very calm, and you remain in your presence and your awareness, and you can feel that. So.
I appreciate that a lot, man. It's taken a long time. Don't get me wrong. See me 10 years ago, right?
I love the love. It feels so good. I love how everyone's so lovely. Like, that's the coolest thing is like, I stay in the state of love continuously because I realize it's who I am. But it's just like, the more I do it, the more I see lovely experiences. People are giving gifts. Everyone's manifesting their person. Everyone I interact with is lovely. Everyone's saying lovely things about each other. Like, dude, I love the love. It's so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, and when you realize that that's all that is, you start to wonder why you thought otherwise.
Yeah.
That one of the things too recently that I was talking to somebody about is like, when you are going at someone, or you're expressing your love to someone and it's not there at the time, it doesn't mean that love doesn't exist there. that's just not available at the moment, right?
Mm.
So like if you are expressing yourself to someone and they're not showing up to you lovingly, if you love yourself, you're only going to accept love. So you step away from it and you realize that it's not there. Okay, I don't want that. Even though this person is love, that person is love entirely, just based on the perspective that I'm viewing them from. They are perceiving it and projecting it back to me. Therefore, I'm not receiving love at this time, so therefore I shouldn't chase that or try to go after it because that's not love. But that doesn't mean that there's not love there. There is always love there. That's the only energy that actually fucking exists. So just because I'm not receiving it at the time doesn't mean that it's not there. So I shouldn't get down on myself for not accepting a neglection of love at the time because it's always there no matter what.
Amen. Free, welcome. You did find home. Welcome. We're grateful to have you.
I love that perspective, Austin.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's been plenty of times where you could perceive the idea that love isn't there based on the people that you love, but it actually is. It's just the way that you're looking at it or the way that they're reacting in the moment that you would try to perceive it as if that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah. Your beliefs are not allowing you to see the love. That's fundamentally what it is. Is that if I see imperfection in you, how can I see love? It's not that it's not there. It's just I can't see it because all I see in you is that glaring untrue belief based upon that you should be this way.
Right.
The moment that I let that go, all I see is love. And that's the funny thing about SP. The moment I let go, how they're not doing this right, they're not contacting me enough, they're not behaving the way I think they should, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. I let that go. What do I see? Love. Guess what happens when I see love in them? They show up in my life lovingly. They show up in my life perfect because I get what it is and I'm aware of. And so that's all it is. That's why I'm saying it's not affirmations. It's not lying to myself. It's not forcing. I am by default, I only see love because that's our birthright. I have to force myself. I have to identify the information that suggests otherwise in order for me to see otherwise. But I have to do something for me to experience that versus I don't have to do anything to experience abundance or love or fulfillment. It is literally my birthright for no reason. It's everybody's birthright for no reason. They don't do anything and it doesn't make sense to the mind. And thankfully it doesn't need to. It is literally just the way that it is. I got to take a piss, by the way.
Guys drinking more water and C4.
C4. This man's energized.
Oh, he. That's his gasoline. He lives on C4. Austin, the chat is loving you, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it 100%. You know, I really think my calling is to come talk to people no matter what, you know, but you know, when it will happen and how it does happen, it's already done. But as of right now, regardless, I love chatting with people and talking to people who understand the same concepts of what life really is for your own fulfillment.
Yeah.
But I've been in your guys' school community for a couple months. Like I'm privy to this.
Yeah. We need you to jump on the calls more and talk.
I haven't planned out the call times, but I can definitely do it. I've had a lot of changes in my life lately. Definitely things that were unforeseen, but trying to get back on a normal schedule here lately.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no doubt you'll do it. I mean, you have that beautiful attribute of allowance, which is amazing because the timing is always perfect. And when you can sit there and allow versus trying to force or effort, it flows in exactly when it needs to, as it needs to. And that's really, I would attribute to your ability to sit in that awareness, because most people were trying to force it. And I want to do this. Okay, I need to do this, and I need to change this, and I need to be like this, rather than just allow and be as you are, and allowing it to come to you.
Right, and I mean, like, you're always going to be that no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, like, unless you truly just want to sit in your room all day and do nothing, which, I mean, you can do that. With a cell phone, you can do that nowadays. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people do.
That's true. So true. I wanted to say congrats to Heather. Heather said her SP came back yesterday. Congratulations. That's so awesome.
Amazing. That's what it's all about being yourself and just allowing the love to come to you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get really mixed up in like, well, if I'm just myself, does that mean I'm gonna get my person? And it's like, who gave you that desire? Like, who? If you were yourself, would you not have your person? Therefore, do you not need to be yourself in order to have your person? Like, to me, it almost indicates a lack of trust in the I am or who you're being. And even if it doesn't, even if it doesn't manifest in 3 months, 6 months, it could take 5 to 10 fucking years. I'm not telling you it should or it shouldn't, but at the end of the day, like, you don't choose your desire. You never chose that. That's one of the most beautiful things about desire to me that I realized is I was like, oh, it's a gift from God. And I think that's something that Joseph harps on a lot too, is like the desire from God is given to you. You didn't choose what you like. You didn't choose who you like. You didn't choose the things you're interested in. So why are you questioning it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you explain where desires come from? Neville, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. Neville, I think, explained it beautifully. The desire is your higher self whispering to your physical self through the forms of desire, right? So it's a spiritual thing. So in that moment, that's why Neville said to desire is to have, because fundamentally it means that you have it. And you have it because it came to you in the form of desire. Notice how each desire is so specific to what you love. I shared this in the collaboration with Joseph Rodriguez. I don't have a desire to be a fucking gardener, so I don't have any desires that come to me about being a gardener, because it's not in harmony with how I love being. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm just proving a point that every desire is very specific and something that I love experiencing intimately and personally to me.
Yeah.
So it's just realizing that I have it, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Heather, thank you all. The school's amazing. I plan on staying in it. I'm so happy to hear that, Heather. We love having you. Time is, well, KG, you're part of school also? Well, awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Time is my entire block that I'm currently trying to work through via flow in school. Well, KG, a thing about this is that time doesn't exist. It's part of the 3D self, right? That lives in linear time. There's yesterday, there's today, there's tomorrow. But the you that manifests, or the you that actually is, which is nothing and yet everything, does not. There's no such thing as time, and so that's why when and I made a video about this. In the linear world, if I break a vase, I must go and fix it. I have to find somebody, I have to buy a new one. In manifesting or fourth dimensionally, the vase is both broken and whole at the same time. And so the thing is I don't tell myself, oh, I need to get my person back. That's implying I'm still in my old state. It implies I am now in my loving relationship. So I move states internally. I decide that I am where I'm at now internally, and I stay there. And the thing is it sounds like I'm telling you to do a whole bunch of information. I'm not. What I find is that you will naturally be there as long as you stop entertaining thoughts that there's something for you to do. So you see, a lot of your thoughts are based upon linear thinking. This happened, so I have to do this to fix this. If you go there, that's what you'll experience. If you don't go there, what'll come to you is naturally thoughts that you're already ideal now. You're already the way you want to be. Your SP is already the way you want them to be. This will happen to you naturally. You will naturally catch a knowing that it is that way. You don't force these things. I mean, you can do it. Like the first time I did it, I forced myself to get, let me be more accurate. I told myself, or I somehow came to the conclusion that I forced myself to be there, but somehow I still flowed to the realization that it was always that way, because that's a realization I always come to. It was always that way. It was just underneath all the shit and the stories I was telling myself. I couldn't see it because all I could see was the shit. The moment I let the shit go, I realized that I was always in a loving relationship. And then my wife showed up in my reality.
Yeah. It's like about realizing that you're all thoughts. You are every thought. You are every experience. You are every emotion. You are everything that you desire to be. The only thing is you have to omit the parts of you that you don't wish to experience, because you are awareness. You have
Yeah,
that choice. So
absolutely.
even if things don't look ideal, will you still give yourself that experience? Because you're the only person doing that to yourself. That's why when people experience separation, it's like, oh no, I'm separate. And it's like, I'm the only person doing this to myself. The other person does not. The other person does not want to make me feel bad. They don't want to make me feel like shit. They don't want me to feel alone. They don't want me to feel like I'm not loved. I'm doing that to myself. Even though they may be experiencing different parts of life where they're seeing someone else or they're single or whatever, they're not doing these things to me. I'm doing it to myself, even if they do not wish to experience a relationship with me right now. So really, at the end of the day, I only have the finger to point at myself, but that was the exact reason why they're not around me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
The
It's huge.
the self-loathing and the victimization is exactly why you experience the things that you do, regardless of whether it's victorious or victimization. You're going to experience it. And even then, like, even if you have nothing around you, everything is all one thing. It's all one fucking particle at the end of the day that's just split.
Yeah.
So I could give myself that experience even if you're not there, because I gave myself the experience of you not loving me when you were there loving me. So how could I not do the same otherwise?
Oh, yeah. I think they need to hear that one again. Say that one again.
I gave myself the experience of you not loving me when you were there. So how could I not give myself the experience of you loving me when you're not there?
That gave me God bumps because that's the first time I was manifesting my wife. I came to that realization. It's so funny. I was like, she was here loving me, and I told myself she didn't. Now it's time for me to show myself she loves me when I'm not seeing proof that she is. It's funny you say that because that was dead ass the exact thought that came to me.
No.
Yeah, I love that. That's so funny that you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you didn't give yourself that when she was there, how could you experience it when she was?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
so
the
true.
whole objective of everything that's going on. And it's like, that's how you maintain a fucking healthy relationship, is to just see things how you wish to see them regardless, even if things don't look favorable.
Yep. So true. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
And, it may seem delusional to look at it as if just because they're not here, I can think of myself like that. But they were here when you thought of yourself otherwise. So what is the fucking difference?
Yeah, there is one. Yeah.
Yep.
If they're here and they have proof to show you an evidence of you being loved, then why would you need proof otherwise? Because you denied yourself even when it was there.
So true. So true. Yeah. I'm trying to manifest my SP. How do I begin that as I am new to manifesting? So Austin was kind of talking this. Ryan was talking about this. I was talking about this. It's all about living from within, right? Like a little exercise you can do here is close your eyes. And this is how I have people experience how to talk to themselves fourth-dimensionally. Close your eyes and say rock star to yourself in your head. Okay, you just did that. So no one was hearing you, yet you spoke. No one was speaking, yet you spoke. So what you were doing there was a fourth-dimensional thing, right? You weren't here. Nobody can see it. Everything you can see is three-dimensional. What you just did, no one can see, which means it was fourth-dimensional. It was not here, yet it was here. So that's what we're talking about, is in there talking to yourself, or rather what I find is it's not adding things on, but it's not imagining to the contrary. It's not identifying with those thoughts that are happening, because those are thoughts that are happening within you where no one sees them, which means they're happening fourth dimensionally, you're imagining. And the thing is that that's what creates your reality. So do not entertain thoughts that suggest to the contrary. That's it. That's it. Chris, thank you for the follow. Thank you everyone for following. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Austin gives sensei vibes. Austin is a freaking sensei. And what I would suggest too, SRM, do check out our school community. Unfortunately, I can't. The link, like TikTok has it set up to where I can't lets you click on the link, like it's in my profile, but you can't copy it. It just shows show translate, which I don't know, but go to school.com and then type in reality by design. This is where we go deep into flow. This is where we go deep into being. And it's extremely powerful. We've had like 10 people within the last 5 days talk about how they manifest their SP after a long time of not doing it. So definitely do check it out. Dark Matter, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you.
2 hours maybe.
It's not bad.
And thank you, everybody, by the way, too. I want to take a moment to acknowledge everybody that's been liking the live continuously. We're at 40,000, which is insane. And thank you for hanging out as well, guys. Welcome to all the new people. Thank you for chilling. And thank you, everybody, for being so lovely, too. I've been watching comments, not really for any other reason, just to make sure that everyone's being lovely to each other. I don't mind if you have a comment about me, but I want people to be lovely to each other. How much is it for the school community? So it's $40, but you get my free course, which I'm selling for $44 on my my YouTube. And so pretty much it's free, right? Because you're getting my course, which is what a lot of people, where people are getting their success is I have my 10-day mental and emotional diet that I have in my school community that you get as being a member. And then I also have my flow course, which you get for free as being a member. So, there it is.
Yeah, snowballs. I will check the message.
Can you clarify how to do a mental diet for those asking? Very good question, yes. So a mental diet fundamentally is it's okay for me to have neutral thoughts, like I'm looking at a dog, okay? Nothing problematic with this. Completely fine. I can have thoughts of living from imagination. For instance, maybe my first suggestion, if I look outside of my bank account, suggests one way, and I decide imaginingly that I'm abundant, okay? This is living by imagination or positive thoughts. So I can either have neutral thoughts or I can have positive thoughts, thoughts that are based upon faith, thoughts that are based upon understanding of who you are, thoughts that are based upon love and harmony, thoughts that are based upon mutual fulfillment and benefit. These are thoughts that I want to continue to suggest to myself. And if I have thoughts that are suggested to the contrary, which you will, how's that for a positive diet? You will have many thoughts that come up that are in contrary to being lovely. You can either A, not identify with it and go on with your day, because as I said, you don't need to think positive. It's your birthright. It's just what happens. Or B, you can think an affirmation. You can think of what you're grateful for. You can think of your living in your end, affirming something that's lovely. You can change your mind. You can do a bunch of different things. But the mental diet fundamentally is for if you're doing mine in the school community, for 10 straight days, you are not to entertain any negative thought, any thought that suggests that you are not powerful, any negative thought that suggests anything negative about anybody else, anything negative about your world, anything negative about your circumstances, anything fear-based, worry-based, disempowering-based for 10 straight days.
Yes, and when you put the accountability on yourself and you realize you're the only person giving yourself these feelings and emotions, you'll stop immediately.
Yeah.
You'll stop immediately.
Yep.
You realize the only negative emotion I ever feel is based on me, regardless of what the circumstances.
On God. On sweet baby Jesus Lord. Hey, I'm going to get an energy drink, guys. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Yeah, Alex, he is going to upload it.
Yeah.
I believe he's going to upload it to YouTube.
Cool. I'm featured, bud. I've had a feat on a rap song before.
I was going to say, you say you did?
Oh, I've used to rap all the time. I play music, man. That's what I do. I play guitar.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
So awesome. Yeah, music is amazing.
One of your videos I was watching earlier, you seem like you're into not necessarily heavier music, but like rock music, yeah?
Yeah, I love all types. But yeah, rock is, I like the gym and that's kind of my thing. But I love hip hop, rap, house.
I love house music, dude. I'll listen to Daft Punk every day of the week. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, house is good. House is phenomenal. But yeah, I think my go-to would probably be rock.
Cool. Cool, man. I'll have to link you with some of my older shit. I'm in the middle of like doing a different band right now, but I think you'd like it.
Send it over. I'd love to listen to it.
What's my YouTube? Joseph Manifesting, or maybe it's JJ Manifesting. It's in my link in my TikTok. My YouTube's on there.
Someone was asking, you're gonna upload this to YouTube, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, sweet Bobby. Yeah, the community is amazing. Everyone in it. I mean, Austin's in it. It's just there's so many amazing people in the community. So
I don't want to start and forget.
What up, Nicole?
Business thing on Facebook.
Share your music. You for sure should, Voice Bells.
yeah, voice bell. Stop holding back. Come on.
Let it flow, let it flow. Can't hold it back anymore. Uh-oh. What up, Victoria?
So what? Okay. Let's do a topic of discussion here. What do you think one of the most asked things to both of you is in regards to mentorship or coaching or just people who have questions for you in general?
Ooh, I would say the most that I've seen would probably be they keep ruminating the old story, and they keep getting thoughts and sucked into the spiral of the old story. Is a really big one. How do I stop the thoughts? What do I do when the 3D doesn't appear ideal? What is flow?
Well, what about you, Joseph? What's the most common question you get asked?
Sorry, I was reading the four remaining manifestor SP, and I blocked her name. I don't ever break somebody's anonymity, but she succeeded. She's on the school, and she's like, "Do I get it for free?" The number one question that I get. Man, there's a couple that are like the same exact thing with just different wording, right? Different circumstances. Primarily the biggest issue I see, number one, is my SP's doing this. So it's always some type of victim mentality, as if SP's acting on their own accord, separate from them, and that they have no power over it, right? It's like a victim mentality. My SP's doing this, my SP's doing this, is a very, very common thing that I see. One that I also observed in myself. And probably the second one is probably the old story. How do I let go of the old story? Yeah. How do I stop? How can I be here because of, quote unquote, with whatever fill in the blank circumstance I'm going through? And those are very, 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 very common.
Well, I think it's hard. I think it's hard because people don't want to discredit someone else's point of view. I think that might be the most difficult part of what that is, right?
Yeah.
If I discredit your point of view, it means that I changed.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that you aren't correct in evaluating me where I was at, but I've changed. So therefore, I'm not necessarily discrediting your point of view, but I'm not the same person. I've decided to be different. And I think that's really difficult because it's like I don't want to devalue or invalue your emotional response or the things that you experience, but I have the capacity to change. Therefore, I am a different person.
1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah. So my thought about that is people tell me that they're going through something or that they're having a rough day, and I find that just because I understand how imagination works, I don't often like, oh, I'm so sorry, because I realize, number one, that doesn't do anything for them, and number two, what I realize is that I am imagining, I am keeping them in that place in my imagination. I'm doing nothing for them. If anything, I am simply keeping them in prison in their current circumstance. And so I find when I don't identify with it, very quickly, I'll have a conversation with the person and they'll tell me, oh, everything's lovely. And I know the reason why that happened is because in me, I didn't put them in a prison of seeing them as sick. I didn't put them in a prison of seeing them as broken. I didn't put them in a prison of seeing them because I realized that when I hold somebody a certain way, they have no choice but to show up in that way.
Exactly.
Because from my point of view, I am the end all. I am the beginning, the end all, right? So I want to see people lovingly. I want to see people empowered. I want to see people happy. I want to see people succeeding. And so if anything's to the contrary of that, sure, I'll have a conversation. It's part of being here in this 3D, reality. But I don't want to hold them there in my imagination.
100%. I feel like that's why, I explained a very simple principle to other people recently is like, why do you think someone appreciates your presence when you are being jubilant and positive and joyous, and they all of a sudden switch their narrative or they switch their mood based on you because you're being that person. So therefore, if they're in a bad mood or in a bad state, they'll be around you and they'll appreciate your presence, but when you leave, they'll be down in the dumps again. That's why they want you and need you around, is because you provide that positive experience for them in order for them to live in that jubilant state. But it wasn't ever really them, it was you.
Yep.
Brian, did we not just have a talk about this, brother? It's just like literally, I tell you, it's continuously like it's just this whole fucking thing. I promise you guys, like you purify your mind, you will just see proof in your 3D experience all the time. It's literally a simulation. Have fun. Stop taking it serious. Ryan and I just literally talked about that, where we were thinking, oh, how do I add more value? And I'm just like, hey, our existence is the value. That is the value. You exist. That's your value. That is why you are magnetic. That is why you're beautiful. That's why you're perfect. It's not because you do something. In fact, the more you try to do something, the more in mind you're telling yourself you're not valuable. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm not going to take action, because I take action because I love being this way. But what I'm meaning is, a lot of times with my wife, I'm trying to do things because I want something from her. Or rather, I'm wanting something I feel like I can't give myself, which is validation or understand my importance. And so I'm wanting it from an outside source. But the thing is, I'm always found wanting. Why? Because the shadow is incapable of giving the creator that which the creator is. The shadow can't do it. It's literally not possible. That's another bar. I need to make sure I do a video on that. But it's impossible for a shadow to give me something that I don't give myself. It just can't happen. It just can't happen. It's like the equivalent of me planting an apple seed and expecting to get a strawberry. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And if I saw a strawberry there, I wouldn't be like, oh shit, the strawberry is fucking dumb. Why is this? I'd be like, oh, I planted the wrong seed, right? So that's literally all it is that.
Yeah. The strawberry. I wouldn't say the strawberry is dumb. That's some funny shit.
But yeah, and it's true regardless of anything that's going on, right? Like, because you have that same perspective, and regardless of how things are showing up, that's how you shift the outside. That is how it is. And just like I was talking earlier, is like, you can sit here and have everything in the world and think that everything is going wrong. So why could you sit here and have nothing in the world and consider that everything is going right? Yeah. And these things will come to you. You don't have to believe it. You just have to know that that's the truth. And when you think about all the things that you experienced in your life, that's how it happened.
1,000%.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's literally just a realization. I say this all the time to people, not as a affirmation trying to convince you, but as the reality is that you are literally perfect as you are. You manifest your person being as you are. You manifest abundance being as you are. Yeah. You manifest love being as you are. So there is literally nothing for you to do. And the harder that you try to earn it or convince yourself, the more that you experience the opposite. I promise you. It is your birthright. It flows to you. When you're saying, and don't get me wrong, you can do a self-suggestion. Self-suggestions, to me, I view them as different than affirmations. Affirmations is, I'm trying to force myself to be something. I'm trying to make something happen, which is a misunderstanding of the law. Everything's created. I don't create anything. I simply become aware of it. And so when I'm saying an affirmation, I am saying, thank you that I'm in a loving relationship, just like I told on my YouTube. And so many people succeeded from that. Thank you that I'm in a loving relationship. It is a recognition that I am that way now. Not making it so. Not lying to myself, not forcing. It is a surrender. This is why Neville says that forcing will cause failure. Because it will. The intention is wrong. I am not understanding who I am. Whereas when I surrender to it or I allow it, I'm understanding. I know who I am. And so I'm allowing myself to be that way. Thank you that I'm in a loving relationship. It's just a simple, beautiful, and the way I want you to look at it is be gentle when saying this. A gentle, nice touch, a gentle, nice chef's kiss when you're saying it to yourself. Not a, I'm this way, I'm this way, I'm this way, I'm this way. It's not a force. It's not a make it happen. It's not a control. It's a gentle, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and these things are added on to you no matter what. And I think when you talk about specific people and the idea of you being with that specific person, there's a lack of trust in regards to you being who you are because you feel like you need to be someone else in order to have this person. And maybe that was the facade. Maybe that was the facade that you put up in order to fulfill your desire initially. But then things didn't work out because you were fulfilling your desire based on something that wasn't you. And then they come to a point where they're like, oh, I could never get them back because they're 1,000 miles away or they hate me or this or that. But literally the only thing that they ever wanted in you was you to be yourself. So
that's it.
So even if things don't look ideal to you at the time, like you don't have any power and control over it. All you have the power and control to do is to be yourself. No matter what. And then here's the thing too, is that I don't want to discredit or discern anybody from getting their specific person, but as stated many times, you don't desire the person. You desire the state of being for you to be happy and blissful. And if this desire was given to you by God, therefore it will be added on to you. So you already fucking know that this person is in your heart of hearts. But if you're just being the person that you are, they should naturally be added on to you. You don't have to fucking work for love. You don't have to be something in order to be loved. You don't have to try to get validation from this person. Like somehow, some way, they will end up in your life regardless of what's going on. And I know a lot of people get really caught up in specific people as far as manifestation goes. But if you really trusted everything, you would know that who you are is what attracts them, right? Or else you wouldn't have to be anything else.
Yeah.
So true. Yep.
But I think that's the hardest part is because everybody wants a specific person, right? And they don't feel like them being in their natural state is going to attract that regardless of what's going on in life.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it was a problem I had too. Is like I'd always tell myself, well, I gotta be different in order to I gotta be different in order to get this manifestation. I gotta be different in order to get this. And the funny thing is that the reason why I wasn't fitting, because I found so many opportunities where I flowed to them, whether it was business opportunities or whatever it was. And what I found is at the moment that I got these things, all these thoughts of not being good enough, et cetera, started coming up in mind. And then slowly but surely the job flowed out of my life and et cetera. And so the issue is that, well, I'm not doing good. I'm not smart enough. I don't learn quick enough. I'm not good at this. Am I sure that this is right for me? I started having all these other thoughts now where when I was flowing there, and here's the cool thing is there's endless opportunities. So it's not like it's a death threat or an end of life or something like this. It is just an opportunity that flowed to me because it's what I loved. But then the moment that I got in that opportunity, all of a sudden the old man popped up. And here's what I find. That's the very same thinking that stopped me from experiencing that in the first place.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And that's why outside opportunities are so beautiful, is because they help bring up who you are in secret. It's so perfect.
Yeah, it's that exact same mentality that you haven't realized that you never shifted out of in order for you to experience the things that you want in life. So it's like oh shit, like I'm feeling this way. It's like, no, you're making yourself feel this way. And that was the only reason that you experienced the circumstances that you believe are outside of you right now.
Mm. Mm. So true.
I'm gonna use AI to get my mind right.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. We could have a fourth member on here.
No, it's Bradley. He's chilling over here.
Hey, use AI to get your mind right.
What's up, Bradley?
He's a
What's
fucking genius. Don't get me wrong.
Tell me what I said. Did they hear me?
Yeah, he looks like a chef.
Use AI to get your mind right.
AI?
But AI only reflects who you're being, so I'm not even going to get into that shit.
Exactly.
I love it.
I'm going to a cool workshop in Austin next week. Oh, that's so dope. Shoops?
Yeah. I won't be there.
That's so dope. So the key is not questioning desire. Exactly. You stay at ready obedience to its whisper.
So
Empty force.
Let me ask you this, Joseph, actually. So does it require you to think about the good things, or does it require you to not think about the bad things?
Just not thinking about the bad things. Like I find like even on entrepreneurship journey has been a beautiful opportunity is that, you know, I didn't affirm that I'm wealthy or that I'm successful or that I'm whatever at school. And what I observe is in proportion to how much I flow in regards to school, not only do I observe everybody getting their desire consistently, everyone loving the experience and being lovely, but I experience love while doing the activity. And then this equates to mutual benefit, financial gain for us and desires for them, right? Which then also ends up turning into financial. I can't tell how many people that joined that said, hey, I don't want to post in school, but I've gotten financial abundance. Hey, I don't want to post this. So it's like,
very cool. Because we always see one side of it.
It's in direct proportion to how much I can feel. Because here's the thing I noticed. When I wasn't making money, very similar to my SP, I would have a fear. I would catch that knot in my stomach in regards to the idea of money in any way, shape, or form, right? Like, this is why I'm saying, guys, be aware. Be aware. You have to pay attention to this. If you don't catch this, you aren't changing anything. If I just tell myself sentences, I'm not changing anything by saying sentences. This is what I'm conscious of being. And my mood is a big dictator of what I'm conscious of being, I can guarantee you.
Right.
So,
it's a giveaway.
Yeah, it's for sure a giveaway. It is the number one giveaway. I can always tell when I'm in trouble with my wife. I start catching this sensation in my stomach of this burning and resentment. It's always a huge indicator I'm starting to change my state in regards to my wife. The biggest indicator. So with money, I would always feel like, I always explain that like my butthole would pucker because I had fears of money or I had reactivity of money. My assumption of money was not good, right? I had to hold on to money. I couldn't pay bills, etc. There was lots of obviously actions and thoughts that came with that. But what I'll just say is that my butthole would pucker when I thought of money. Now when I think of money, my heart lights up. You notice the difference? My heart lights up when I think of money. Absolutely. Now, here's the difference between my relationship with money. Money used to never come to me. Now money comes to me continuously. All that changed was not my affirmations. I was saying I was wealthy for years. The mood I'm catching in regards to money changed. And now my experience with money changed drastically.
Where you immediately place yourself afterwards is the emotional response that you experience. So emotions might not be important, but they're a very large indicator of where you're at in your conscious awareness.
1,000%. 1,000%.
So like I could be successful and have a bad emotion and be like, I'm successful regardless and continue to be successful. But if I'm not there and I continue to ignore that emotional response, it's a very clear indicative that I'm not paying attention to that part of my life.
Yeah. So people say like oftentimes here's another important thing that like I think requires a lot of self-discovery before you'll decide you'll discover these nuances. I can be upset while being wealthy, but I'm not upset at money.
Yeah.
There's a big distinction. I can carry a couple of different states into something. For instance, I could have a shitty mood but feel good about money and I'm still going to be abundant. You see, there's distinct little movements that you have within your body and references to each individual thing. For instance, someone who's financially abundant will have a good feeling about money, and yet it could, once they're included in their relationship, maybe if they're talking to their partner about money, they may not have a good feeling, but that feeling is in reference to their relationship with their partner and not with money itself. So they'll still be financially abundant.
A lot of nuances.
but their loving relationship probably isn't there. So you see, there's a feeling or a mood that you have associated with each individual subject outside of you, and it's important to pay attention to that because that is what's coloring your experience.
That's beautiful. Yeah, because it's your total awareness. So like I could have complete security in my total awareness with the amount of money that I'm making for myself. But if I'm with someone and I don't feel like I'm contributing financially enough, which is just a made up thought in my head.
Yeah.
I feel like I won't be good enough for X or Y thing, regardless of what person it is.
Yeah.
And I'll create these circumstances of which I'm not worthy, even though I clearly was the whole time. But this person had no idea or choice but to reflect that to me based on who I'm being.
Yeah.
1,000%. 1,000%. Jackie, congratulations. That's huge. I can tell you, I already know from you knowing that you did a huge amount of internal work, or rather a huge amount of bringing your awareness within instead of paying outside in order for you to come to that conclusion. So congratulations. That's a big part of it, is realizing these things, right? Because that was what was so challenging for me when I was manifesting my wife the first time, is like, I didn't know what I was doing within me. I didn't know how I was doing it right because I didn't know what signs would come when I'm in the state. I didn't know how my perspective would automatically change when I was in the state, or my beliefs would change, my self-concept would change. I didn't know any of this. And I think that's partly why people that are into manifestation talk about affirming 24/7, is because it's easier to tell you to affirm 24/7 than to explain to you fundamentally what you're doing within you. It just makes it simpler. But the problem I find is that when most people are affirming, they don't know what they're doing. So then it brings up questions of uncertainty. It brings up questions of, their emotions come in the mix, and then they don't know how to handle their emotions without giving it a negative meaning. And then they see 3D stuff, which then gives so there's like this, it almost creates the same problem that people are trying to avoid, is which people don't know what they're doing. But congratulations to you for realizing your correlation between emotions and how you feel with the situation, because there is absolutely an intimate connection between the two. I have had success affirming in the same day. I'm for it. Oh, wonderful. Yeah. If it worked for you, do it. I'm just not a big advocate of it, because I've observed it do it a lot more harm than I have good. That doesn't mean that people don't do it. It just means that that's been what I've observed over coaching thousands of people. So over 1,000 people, let me clarify, not thousands. You need to understand the fundamentals of what's going on. Yeah, Daddy, I agree. And, honestly, I think that I was a fanatic. I was an absolute fanatic with law of assumption. I very early on, I said, hey, you know what? One of my desires was to be like Neville Goddard. I wanted to understand the law with such clarity that Neville Goddard spoke with. And so I went down a bunch of bridge of incidences where I spent a lot of time in secret. I studied a lot of different teachers. I went through a lot of challenging circumstances externally, which gave me opportunities to purify my mind and learn what I was doing in secret. And then I came to a place where I understood, but it took time. I would spend, like, a lot of people don't know this because I didn't share it, but for a couple of years, I spent 3 to 5 hours a day in meditation. I would pay attention to my moods, almost like a documentary, to see, does my mood at all matter with what it is that I'm saying to myself? And then I would stay in this mood, and then I would see what happened outside of me. And I noticed very quickly a very quick correspondence between it. Now I said, well, what if I just do affirmations? And then I'd pay attention to my outside reality, and sure, maybe sometimes I see some slight type of correlation between what I was affirming and what I saw outside of me. But I would notice it wouldn't be quite as profound or quite as large. Like, for instance, manifesting money, I would get what I consider a larger sum of money when I would add more of a deeper emotion of feeling it, versus when I didn't do anything, maybe I'd get $10 or $20, something like this. So there'd be a direct correlation between the level of intensity I was feeling within versus the level of intensity of that manifestation without, if that makes sense. Where can I learn more? Shoops, you can, if you wanted to join our community, you can definitely join our community. That's one way you can do it. You can also, as someone suggested, read Neville. Neville is phenomenal. He has a lot of YouTube videos on YouTube. Mental diet. Yeah, Damanu, that's a really good one. One I'll add to it that I think is my personal favorite is Pearl of Great Price. That's my favorite one. In my opinion, you only need to read that one over and over again.
So, speaking on Neville, I had this question a couple minutes ago that I realized. Do you think it's important to think about the things that you desire all day, or do you think it's more important to assume the natural state that you have it? And would that, I mean, obviously you can think about it because you wouldn't not think about a situation that you're in. But I know I've heard of him speaking on dropping it several times, and it's like it's a matter of assuredness.
Yeah, good question. My personal thing, and I'll tell you, my life's been good for a while, ever since I kind of understood how to do my imagining. But the last 6 months, I've decided just to be in flow, which means to not affirm or visualize or do anything. And what I observe is that my life is way better than it even was before. And how I'll do it is very simply, if a desire comes up or some problem comes up in mind, I will become the observer. I'll remove my attention from it and go back into flow. And if it's something that continues to press me, right? Like, let's say that there's something that my wife's doing that my mind keeps hooking onto. It keeps trying to create emotions. It keeps trying to think about it, which happens less and less every day, but from time to time would happen. In that moment, I will acknowledge that I am the way I desire to be. And then I'll go on with my day. So my goal is not to affirm. My goal is not to be in a wish fulfilled. My goal is to be as I am now and to release any conditioning that suggests that I am other than I am now.
Right.
That's fundamentally it.
That's all you desire to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just thinking, but yeah, it's just it's almost like a secondary thought in order to who you are being. And those are the ideas of desire. It is a secondary thought because you are the primary source of perception. And man, I think just one of the most profound thoughts, sorry, I'm gibberishing right now, but just the idea of me always being in control of the way that I experience anything. And it's not ever easy, but that's the call of God. That's the call of accountability to yourself, is that I will always experience things based on how they look at them. And I could choose to not accept anything regardless of what anything outside of me tells me. I could be, if somebody were to talk to me about a topic, I could be like, no, like that's not what happens. And as far as in regards to who I am, I'm not oblivious to other people's perspectives, but I also know who I am. So I can't sit here and allow myself to conduct myself any other way. And regardless of what that looks like to anybody, that's fine. I think I'm a very people person, so I can always objectively understand other people's opinions. I think it's made it a little more of a concentrated effort since I've learned about the idea of manifestation. But at the same time, you have to participate in what you understand the third dimension is as well. So
yeah, for sure.
I think that's the most difficult part, is looking at things outside of you with your senses and perceiving things a different way. Even though we can do it the opposite direction, but doing it in the direction favorable is difficult without evidence. I think people assume more often than not.
It definitely is in the beginning stages, yeah. I don't find it difficult now because when I remain as the observer, I find that it kind of just transcends the environment, right? Because the only thing reacting is the personality. So if you're identified with the personality, then yes, it's very hard to not react because the personality is reacting. But when you know that you're the awareness or the observer, well, there is no personality, and so there's nothing to react to. And so that's the thing behind it. Also, I find it's really important to be in the state too while observing emotions or thoughts, is because then it's so easy for me to not identify or attach myself to particular thought patterns or emotions and such, right? So yes, in the beginning stages or even intermediate stages, man, I had a really hard time. I would agree with that. But what I find is that the more and more that you do mental diets, the more and more that you realize who you actually are, not the personality that you're saying that you are, you release these untrue beliefs naturally. You release this thinking based upon separation, which is an illusion. There's only consciousness, and you are the power of that consciousness. And so it's like as the mind keeps getting purified more and more and more and more, you literally can't see evil. You literally can't see anything incorrect. Because if something incorrect came up, this fundamentally means there's some untrue belief in my mind that I'm identified with as being me that I'm then reacting to, if that makes sense. So it does get easier and easier and easier. When I first started, dude, I failed mental diets continuously. I had negativity continuously. I had a problem with everybody continuously. I had a problem with my world continuously, with me continuously. Now, very rarely thoughts like that ever pop up in my mind. And what I find too, and Joseph Rodriguez talks about this, is that eventually it'll become automatic. And that's been my experience. I can tell automatically when a thought is unlovely and it automatically releases. It's not even something I'm consciously having to do anymore. But I did do the mental diet for a very long period of time. I'm not going to give amount of time because then people put in their minds how long it'll take, but I've been doing it for a very long time.
No expectations here.
Yep.
Yeah. Being the observer, I think has been really easy for me when it's like I take accountability for the circumstances and the things that appear in my life, but it comes down to a level beyond just your initial emotional reaction. Like, why am I feeling this way? Oh, and the easiest thing for me has been, I'm giving this to myself. I'm giving this to myself right now. Whenever something pops up in my mind about things that I would like to deem favorable, any negative emotion or any knot in my stomach that I feel, what you were talking about earlier, is I immediately identify as, I'm giving this to myself. Why am I doing that? Nothing else is giving this to me. And that's triggering, or I'm sorry, not triggering, but it's identifying the negative initial subconscious response that I'm giving without being aware of why I feel like that when I think about a certain subject, or not all the time, but it's like, I'll be positively affirming for something going on in my life, but then an old memory pops up. And if I have an emotional response to it, it completely subsides immediately because I understand that I'm giving it to myself, or observing and being the awareness and understanding that, this thought isn't of me, but also being empathetic for myself and saying, I'm actually giving this to myself. Like, I'm actually hurting myself right now. There is no one else doing this to me. And even if I were to ask these people involved in this scenario if they wanted to hurt me, I promise they would say no, because there is only love. And the more that I look at it otherwise, the more that I experience that. And no one is trying to fucking hurt me out there. Thankfully, no one's trying to physically harm my body. But as far as the mental aspect goes, no one fucking wants to hurt my mental. No one wants to hurt my heart.
Amen. Daddy, thank you for being here. See you later, Daddy. Yeah, I agree. Should we have Source here? Let's see see what Source has to say. Come on, Source.
Pero yo soy al revés. Yo ni quiero que me suene el teléfono. Yo siempre lo mantengo en modo de no molestar para que no me entren ni las llamadas ni los mensajes. Porque a mí también mis primos o primas de Guatemala me tratan de llamar. Ay.
No habla.
Oh, shoot. Como que... What the fuck?
What up, Source? Spanish flow. How do I get off? I got you.
Hey, didn't you say your family was Espanol?
My wife is, yeah. I only understand how to say cuss words.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can cuss. I call my son Little Cabron. And what's the other one? Yeah, I don't know too much.
Little Cabron.
That was an accent? Okay, it's all good. My father speaks Spanish. Yeah, it's dope. I personally absolutely love Spanish people. I think they're wonderful human beings. I just don't speak Spanish. I do not speak Spanish. It's embarrassing. It's all good.
I'll ask another question. What is your guys' favorite part of your day? And I would love it if it's the whole thing. But I mean, like, are there any like defining thoughts or like points of your day where you come to a remembrance and you're just really happy? And if those happen, could you describe them?
I'd say probably my favorite part of the day is either one, sitting in the silence, or two, observing human beings that are sharing something they love about their experience. Those are just absolutely lovely for me to observe both.
Brian, your mic's muted.
Yeah, I'd muted it. Sorry, I was making some food. I would say, kind of along what you said, I really enjoy different experiences that bring me back to awareness, that cause me to recognize who I am. And I think there's different things daily. So, yeah, I love sitting in the silence. I do breath work, which is probably one of my favorite things.
Man, it's beautiful that you said it's daily, though.
Yeah, there's different things, and I'll just catch it and I'll recognize, and it just brings me back to being, to presence. And so those are the beautiful moments.
What about you? What about you?
I think recently it's been more so just understanding that nothing hurts me except for me. And I'm very capable and successful in the things that I've provided my time to, but I've never been able to really understand how much I've neglectfully harmed myself when nothing happens outside of me.
Yeah.
So regardless of any circumstance or situation, to know that I can't be harmed, I think is my favorite thought recently, or my favorite realization in the last couple of days anyway.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
I mean, I play music, so like I perform, I'd be out in front of people, and I think there's different points in my life that I've experienced where I feel a lot more confident in regards to that or not.
Yeah.
And just based on societal or like friendships or relationships and things like that. But I think it's really important to maintain your sovereignty in your extremely unique but infinite identity that you possess.
Amen. Brian, what the fuck was going on over there, bro? You sounded like you're on a cooking show. I heard some steaming or something, or like some frying.
Yeah, I'm burning shit. I'm running back and forth. I'm like, I might have to jump off here, guys. I'm burning some shit. I thought it was going to be easy.
We got some Spanish people in chat. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo es Giuseppe.
So I want to get even deeper. So based on both of your questions, what is something personal to you as far as regarding yourself in awareness? Like you stop for a moment, you realize I'm awareness, you give thanks to the desires that you have and continue to pray for. Like what is your guys' like bread and butter for the day today? Like what are you most thankful for and most happy for today?
Oh, that's a tough one, because even when I talk to Joseph, being able to be present and get in flow is just freedom. And I always dealt with a lot of anxiety and having to know and have certainty. And that's being able to be present and get in flow just eliminates all that mind chatter. And so for the first time in your life, you're free. You're not conditioning the way things need to show up or turn out, or how are they going to, or what about this? And now what does that mean about this? And all of that's gone. And so, yeah, I find myself getting in flow, and it's just bliss, doing things I would have never, ever guessed. I mean, I take my dog for a walk in the morning. It's blissful. It's amazing.
That's what I mean. Is like, what's a positive thought that came across your mind today where you're just happy to be here?
Yeah, just doing that is beautiful. And it's like, it's so simple. Or even doing breath work, like I said. I do the 2 breath work, and afterwards I just sit there, and it's perfect peace. And so I'm like, this moment is, I wouldn't change it if I could.
I have a lot, dude. Observing how my wife looks at me. I went into a Circle K this morning and I was acting crazy. And I love just the level of freedom I have where I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because I remember a time where I felt like I was in a prison. Even though all the thoughts were putting me in a prison, I felt like I just couldn't be me because I had to be perceived a certain way, or I had to be a bad boy, or I had to be like this or whatever in an attempt to keep safe and stuff like this. But that was amazing. I did a meditation that was absolutely amazing. Having this conversation with you guys was absolutely amazing. But I'm in complete agreement with Ryan. The reason why everything's amazing is because of, first off, that I'm present. I know who I am. I stay as I am. And because of that, I only see love everywhere. Because I can remember when I used to identify as a personality, I saw problems with this. The weather sucked. My wife was wrong here. My son was annoying. My kids were annoying. My aunt was annoying. This person was annoying. I don't make enough. That's just what the personality does, right? It finds everything that's beautiful and turns it to shit. And what I find is that awareness, just being consciousness or being present, takes everything that is, and you realize the beauty in everything. What about you?
Yeah, I think I just identifying as conscious awareness and knowing that nothing gives me an experience. Nothing gives me the experience I don't wish to have. And like you said, experiencing all your fucking reflections around you at your house and the people that you know and the places that you go to the grocery store, just knowing that nothing gives me the experience that I don't wish to have is the prominent thought lately.
So true. It's all happening just in your consciousness. All right, let's start answering a couple of people's questions here, because people are. Someone said, "Can you only ask questions in school?" No, we were having a conversation with the three of us. We weren't answering anybody's questions. It wasn't specific to just you. What are some tips that you use to stay in the present and stay in the knowing? Actually, a really cool thing. I just made a post in the school community this morning. Put your tongue on the top of your roof of your mouth. The very act of doing this will keep you present here, and it will stop your mind from going off in stories.
Yeah.
You can put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and then just do this when you're in interactions, and you'll find that you'll stay present here. You won't be drifted off and SP and then this, because I don't think most people realize it, because it takes a level of awareness before you start realizing this. But I was going off on tangents continuously. I would be up here, and then I'd go, I want to get some food. I'd go unconscious in a story thinking about my wife or some shit that had nothing to do with me walking to my kitchen having food. And I'm off in a story for 10 minutes. And then finally I come back to it. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I was becoming unconscious, right? And we do this all day long.
Yeah.
But there's no awareness to it. And so the more that we can bring awareness to it, well, guess what? Now I can start being aware of what my thoughts are, and I can change them. Now I can start being aware of being in the moment. Oh, guess what also comes with that? I start feeling better. I start imagining better automatically, because I'm not imagining unconsciously anymore. Viking, if you want to ask your question and shoot away. How do you stay in silence for a long period? I try to meditate in silence, but only last 8 minutes. Well, congratulations. First off, most people can't last 8 seconds. So congratulations. Secondly, you just keep doing it. You just keep sitting in the presence. Instead of putting your attention on things, people, environments, tools, ideas, put your attention on nothing, space. Because consciousness is both the unmanifested and the manifested. Just like your awareness is unmanifested, you can't see it. You can only become aware of it or feel it. And then it materializes things as manifested, which is what your senses see. Much like the sky. Look at the sky. It is both God. Yet the sky is nothing, and yet it's what allows the clouds to exist. Something. So you see, it's one and the same. Silence, same thing. You hear my voice, manifested. It returns to silence, unmanifested. Yet it is all the same substance. It is the unseen and the seen. So just remain there, paying attention to nothing. Space, void, silence, whatever you want to call it. Neville says, go into silence. Eckhart Tolle says, become aware of the now. Dr. Joe Dispenza says, becomes the space. Abraham Hicks says, become the void. They're all pointing towards the exact same truth. Pay attention to that and stop paying attention to the thoughts, because the thoughts belong to a personality. They belong to somebody. That awareness belongs to God. Everything and yet nothing. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate y'all. Jane Doe, thank you. David Hawkins. Matthew McConaughey. That didn't mean anything. I just figured we were saying people's names, so I'd bring one.
Yeah, I was going to say, are we just naming random people? Do I need to say someone?
Holly Berry. Scale of consciousness? Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think what in reference to what you just said too, like it's so important to understand that like you're everything, so you can subtract. You don't have to add.
Yeah.
So
And
true.
that's usually what is required. It's not about adding. It's usually the subtraction that you need.
Yep. I've only been watching for a couple of days. I already feel better. That's lovely to observe. Congratulations. And it'll only get better from here. That's why I always suggest, and Austin brought up that point. It's not what I'm saying that's necessarily valuable. It is to when I'm staying conscious or I'm staying present, you observing us stay present is putting you in a more present state. So automatically you are thinking better, you are feeling better, your state of being has changed from observing us in that state. That's what happened with Eckhart Tolle. I can tell you, Eckhart Tolle bored the shit out of me. This guy's talking about ducks. He's feeding ducks for a year and a half. I'm telling you, my ego did not find that fun. I'm like, what a boring motherfucker. I want to go listen to a rap song or make some money, right? But he's talking about feeding ducks. And yet, on some level, I was so attracted to him. And I'm like, why? Well, I started observing something. I felt so much better every time I observed him. And the reason why? He kept making space for me to observe space. And also his state of being, he explains it like this. Somebody who is enlightened or conscious is the equivalent of a log that's brightly on fire. Somebody who is unconscious or starting to become conscious is the equivalent of a log of somebody who's just starting to kind of be on fire. If I were to place that log on top of the log on fire, that log will become on fire quicker.
Yeah.
That is the perfect analogy of what happens when somebody observes us. It's that. It's not the words. Words really offer you no value. It's a concept. It's an idea. It's not until you experientially experience something or you become more present do you experientially understand the concepts that are being shared. And that's where the value comes from. I'll give an example. What provides you with more value or more truth? Your experience of Disneyland or me telling you Disneyland sucks when experientially you had a great time? Which one's more truthful? Well, obviously your experience. There's no.
I had a great time.
Yeah, there's no denying your experience. There is denying a concept. So the point of the concepts is to bring you to the experience yourself, because that's what adds value to you, not a concept of something. Exactly, Shoops. Yeah, it's the field that I'm holding. Make sure exactly. Another way of putting it is it helps you realize the consciousness that you are now. That's all it is. It's taking away from the mind chatter. It's taking away from feeding the ego, and it's feeding you.
I think resonant for a scripture is you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven unless you basically abandon all judgment. You know, it's like I'm not judging anything outside of me because it doesn't determine who I'm being at any given point in time. So why would I judge anything outside of me when I'm giving myself the experience that I have? Because it really doesn't make any sense. Like, obviously, I'm going to be safe and defend myself if the situation is given such, right? I'm going to run away or I'm going to have to fight if I need to. But any judgment based on any experience outside of myself is silly.
Yeah. I mean, your in effect, judging yourself.
Jackie Chan, those motherfuckers, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, I think people in extreme conflict every day are a very good example of this too. You know, people don't understand how they can apply this in situations that don't relate to them or rely on their circumstance. But like people in war conflict are dealing with this every day too. You know, people who are fighting for their lives or trying to espionage for their ability to stay alive in foreign countries that are going through war circumstances. I mean, I'm not saying you can, unfortunately, if you get hit by a bomb, you get hit by a bomb. But when you live in an area where you can negotiate your way out of living in destructive environments, you invite harmony, and that's how I believe people in those situations live.
Amen. Yeah, Viking Mama, your question is not anywhere to be seen. I just scrolled through the comments. I don't see a single comment from you other than are you ignoring my question and posted 3 times. Those are the only comments I've seen you put.
It's really strange because I was just going, I can't see it. Well, I don't know why it shows up when she says, "Can we ask a question?" But it's not allowed. I can't see anything else.
Hey, Viking Mama, if you want to request to join the boys up here, come and chill with the boys, and you can ask your question. Think they're being filtered? Yeah, possibly. I don't know. Just want to let her know that it wasn't. It's TikTok, if anything.
No, I can't see it either.
Come and chill with the boy. We them boys. That sounds a banger.
Oh, that was the banger back in the day, dude.
We them boys.
I'm looking back quite a while and I don't see anything at the moment.
Yeah,
I don't see anything either. You got 3 brothers? Bless your heart. Us boys are wild. We're wild folk.
Queen's Rebirth has a great question. Why do we need to work on ourselves so much when we manifested before without any awareness?
That's the point. That's the whole point, is that you didn't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it may appear contrary to what you're experiencing, but it's not true.
Yeah, and that's why we always talk about it. It's not work, it's not effort. It's just recognizing who you are. And the fact that I would say the only thing I would say that may be remotely contrary to that is most people, including myself, end up manifesting unideal situations, things that are contrary to our desire. So awareness puts you in alignment with that. You are now in alignment with who you are and your desire.
New luck. Yes, sir. Luke. Been ages since I chilled with a singular boy.
Luke, what is up?
They made me tough. I trust that. The remix the best. I agree. I have 3 brothers. Damn. You can't see anything either? The Queen's Rebirth. What up?
I like that name. That name is fire.
Rhea, thank you for liking the live. You've been staying so persistent, Rhea. Peepa, Samar, what up? Kelly, thank you. Hi, I love your videos. I just want to know your thoughts on robotic affirming. Well, thank you so much. First up, Jules, hello to you. Good evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you're at. My view on robotic affirming is I'm not really I'm not a big advocate of it. And the reason why is because to me it's implying number one, a misunderstanding of who I am. Number 2, it's seems very forceful to me. When I experienced it, it caused me so much disharmony. I went to the point where I almost wanted to check out of this 3D video game. And number 4, I don't know if I said number 3, but number 4, it just kind of drove me crazy, because if I say yellow car all day long, I'm going to think of a yellow car all day long and look for a yellow car all day long. So it's like just kind of how the brain works, right? So like the more that I keep telling myself a thing, the more I look for that thing, which then falls into the looking for proof and validation, which then looks for it's not the way I want it to be, which creates more. So I'm not a big advocate. What I am a big advocate of is by deciding that something's a certain way. So if you're wanting to say, I'm in a loving relationship or I have the perfect partner, it is a simple and gentle surrender to that being true. Thank you. What would deny it? Only you in mind could suggest that your appearances mean that your SP isn't the way you want them to be. So what are you fighting against? There's only you. Your 3D is you. You are the only thing that creates. Why on God's green earth would I ever all day long affirm that something's a certain way if I knew I'm the power? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I have great success from not even affirming it at all. So because what I can tell you affirming does, I'll tell you what affirming does. For all of you, I'll save you guys a lot of heartache. This is what affirming does for you. Affirming stops you from thinking the old story. So you can either stress or fight or try to stop putting the old story in your mind, or you can simply just remove your attention from the old story and you will get your SP either way. Because the moment that you no longer entertain the old story will stop playing out and what you love will flow to you, because that's how creation works. So it's up to you. Either stress, make it hard, do it continuously, which you'll succeed, right? Because eventually you succeed anyways. The desire is a guarantee that you'll get your manifestation. But the question is do you want to experience yourself lovingly in that meantime, or do you want to stress? That's your decision. Thank you for the follow on this, Jay. I appreciate you. You claim it, yeah.
So I think the idea of success from that comes from the idea that you tricked yourself into being in the state of who you want to be, and then it leaves you otherwise. So you never really succeed in that regard.
Yep.
Is what I think about that. And I think a lot of people have the lack of acceptance of what will come to them, but they don't even realize that everything that they want will come to them and more.
Yeah. My wife's the best she's ever been. I haven't affirmed a single thing about her in over 9 months. And within the last 9 months, she has been the most amazing she's ever been. Why? Because I don't do these fucking mental gymnastics with myself all day of she appears a certain way and then no, she's this way. Because all I found that does, if anything, is make me more conscious of the fact that she's problematic. All I do is I remove my attention from something that my brain is interpreting as problematic, and she shows up lovely. That's it.
Yeah,
that's literally it.
Affirmations are against myself.
An affirmation, fundamentally, what's implying when I'm doing an affirmation continuously is that I am conscious of it not being the way I want it to be, hence why I'm working so damn hard for it to be the way I want it to be. That's it. Why else would I affirm all day long? I don't affirm all day long to be who Joseph is now. I simply show up and here I am, voila.
And I think it may be harder for people who haven't experienced success. I guess that's a story they could tell themselves. But at the end of the day, when I was always being the most confident and sure version of myself, I wasn't sitting there telling myself that I was. I just knew it.
Yeah, but Damanu, my point is that the state that I'm in, which is lovely, is automatic to me. I don't do anything to be this way. I can only do something to not be this way. I have to be swayed by untrue beliefs in my mind to not be magnetic or abundant or lovely. I don't affirm to be me. It's my birthright. Just like for you to be in a loving relationship with whoever you choose is your birthright, and abundance is your birthright. You don't do anything. Notice, I promise to you guys, like as you do this is going to make more and more sense. You are only experiencing things to the contrary because in your mind, you're identifying with thoughts suggest that you are not the way you want to be. That's it. That is the only challenge that you have in your reality is that truth. I guarantee you. I promise you. I put my life on it. Mark my word. Mark my word. And I have picture proof. I'm not putting names because I'm not breaking anybody's anonymity. But you guys want to see proof of the people that manifest their SP after crazy circumstances by doing nothing? I'll show you guys proof. I'm going to black out their emails and stuff like this, right? But send me a message. I'll send you proof. Continuously. All I observe, because here's the thing. People have been doing the trying thing for months, years. It's not working clearly. What do you have to lose from trying this? You don't have anything to lose. Your quality of life will 100 times within a week. You're going to feel better within a week. Your thoughts will be better within a week. Is that not the point of manifesting? is to change your inner state of being, because I don't manifest what sentences I tell myself. I manifest who I'm being. I told myself for years I was abundant. I can tell you I wasn't fucking abundant. Now I don't tell myself I'm abundant. I'll tell you I'm abundant. Well, what happened? I changed who I am, or who I said I am, rather. I realized who I am. Probably accurately more put. So what do you think about all day? It really does depend. A lot of the times it's very in the moment things of like how lovely a flower is, or how lovely a person is, or business ideas, creativity flows to me. I find that that's a big one, right? There's so many lovely courses in the school community that I've been able to create because I sit and flow in these lovely ideas of how I can create something that'll be mutually beneficial for people, and they'll be able to get their desire. These ideas come to me while in flow. But it's really mostly like a lot of thoughts of how much I love something, or how much I appreciate something, or creative ideas, how much I appreciate myself, my state of being. Sometimes I'll have thoughts of the difference of what goes on in my mind versus how it used to be. Because there's the thing you guys have to understand. At one point, I was a meth addict, heroin addict, who was creating absolute hell within me. And then my reality looked like it as well. It was a very dark place, right? If there was a hell, I was in it. And so sometimes my mind will reference that of, hey, do you remember when you were like that? And yes, I can absolutely fucking remember that. Very dark place. And I stayed there for years, lots of suffering. And now I look at my life and it's so simple. And it's like, well, what happened? Because my life used to be hard. I used to have a lot of crappy emotions that weighed me down. I used to have a lot of overthinking and pessimism. I used to have a lot of, everywhere I looked, I saw problems. I saw people, something was wrong with people. Something was wrong with my parents. Something was wrong with me. Everywhere I went to continuously. And now, very rarely do I ever see anything wrong. And if I do, I know it has nothing to do with the circumstance. It has to do with my thought. And a simple suggestion of it's perfect as it is. That's all I tell myself. And then immediately that filter of seeing that thing as anything other than perfect leaves me. And then I experience that thing as being perfect. I have this sometimes with personalities, right? I'll observe certain people when I'm in school or something like this, and someone will show up with a certain type of personality. And I'll catch sometimes my mind will go, oh, this person's imperfect, right? Or in some way, shape, or form. Immediate affirmation, they're perfect as they are. It releases that untrue belief. And then I observe this person absolutely beautiful. And then I get some gem from them. And here's the cool thing. If I would have kept my untrue belief of seeing this person this way, I would have not have picked up that beautiful experience of them, because all I would have seen is what's wrong with them. So you see, this is why they say that there's always a saying, broke people will see problems, rich people see opportunity. It's just a filter. When I'm in my mind holding on to an idea that there's only problems, that's all I can see. When I release this idea, all I can see is opportunities, prosperity. That's amazing how far you come. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, like, here's the funny thing. I wish you guys could have seen my mind. I mean, I was violent. I was getting in fist fights. I was getting arrested. I was doing drugs. I was robbing people. I lit parks on fire when I was young. I was beating on my brother to the point where my uncle wanted to call Child Protective Services on me. My parents, to be more accurate. And now here it is. I'm teaching this stuff. It's like when they say people don't change. Absolutely, yeah. Well, because the thing is, I'm saying is that you're not the personality, right? That's the whole entire point behind this. You are not the little thoughts in your head.
I want to say something about the people don't change thing, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Go for it, bro. I actually got to take a piss again, so this is perfect timing.
I think that the people don't change is, so I've been on that train of thought before, but the people don't change. If everyone is a reflection of me, that only discerns the idea that I'm not capable of change. So if I don't think other people are capable of change, that inherently means that I do not believe that I am capable of change, regardless of who it is. It doesn't have to be a specific person. It doesn't have to be this person or that person. Inherently, I can sit here and judge someone's actions all day long and calculate 3 years of their past experience. But if I don't believe they can change, then I do not believe they can change. And that's on me. Because if I don't believe that someone can change, that secretly means that I don't believe that I can change, because I'm a human just like they are. If I don't believe someone else can change, that just secretly means that I cannot change. Now, I get the pessimistic view. I get the understanding of, yeah, I shouldn't believe this because I don't want to, but why should I discount anyone else for what I'm capable of doing myself? And just as much as I don't want to necessarily involve myself in negative circumstances or situations, I should never choose to believe that they can't change, because that means that I'm imposing those limiting beliefs on myself. And precisely so, Christina. That's why you can't say that other people don't change, because that means that you don't change. Because other people don't change if you don't change. I mean, I don't really know about opposites attracting. I don't think it's necessary, because I don't know. It just means that there's more opportunity for the opposites to attract other than just normals. And I don't think that's necessarily true. We don't necessarily get our desires. We don't choose our desires. So I don't think there's any opposition in regards to it. I just think it's something that's given from God. Yeah, and the thing is that, like I said, if you believe other people can't change, you yourself are admitting that you cannot change, because you're unwilling to change yourself in order to get the reflection in those other people.
Glow, you're violent now. That's okay. Be as you are, perfect as you are, Glow. You'll find that the more that you resist something, the more that you'll experience that thing. So allow yourself to be perfect as you are. Request to join to share a success story. Oh, we got voice. Let me have Viking Mama in here, because she was wanting to ask a question. She wasn't able to ask a question because I don't see Viking Mama anymore. All right, go ahead, voice pals. Go ahead. You also requested. Oh, Glow, you want to come on? I thought it was accidental, because I thought last time you didn't want to. Maybe it was somebody else. I don't know. What up, voice bells?
Hello. I can wait for Viking if you want. I just have a crazy story.
You're good. Yeah. Go for it. Yeah, shoot away.
Okay, so let me get off my face. Okay. Hold on. Okay.
Hey, Viking Mama. Sorry, 1 second. Viking Mama, try like restarting the app and starting it back up, because I accepted your request like twice and it's not dropping. I think it's probably part of the issue. Okay, go ahead, voice pulse.
Okay, so it's good timing, because you were just commenting on, like, sometimes you'll be speaking to some people and you'll watch those judgments come up, and by reframing it, or right, like reminding yourself of the truth, then you receive this gift.
Mm-hmm.
They'll drop a gem or whatnot. So I shared this with Ryan last night in his live, but yesterday I went to a job I didn't want to go to, right? I was ill, and I remember on the drive there just reframing, trying to get into a higher state of consciousness so that I wasn't creating hell on earth as an experience, right? And it turns out they were lovely people, and you know what I mean, it turned out to be a positive experience, and they tipped me well, and so box ticked, right? Just showing myself. And I really felt unwell, and I was so tired. So I remember getting in my car with the mind frame and the thoughts of like, I can't wait to get home, right? Can't wait to get home and go to bed and rest. So I'm driving, and it's a 17-mile journey, and about 9 miles from home, ding, this little warning symbol came up on my car. And it wasn't the engine light. And keep in mind all the talk about the car in my reality and all that. So I was like, oh God. So I asked Siri what it was, and it was either tire or brakes, and I laughed because I was like, yeah, I know my brakes aren't fine, so I don't need to be told that. And then I was like calm, and I was like, okay, so yeah, it makes sense. My tires might be a bit low because the weather's shift. So there's a gas station right across from my house. So in my mind, I was like, I'll go ahead and check out the tires and put some air in it if need be on my way home. That was 9 miles from home. By, I don't know, 7 or 8 miles, all of a sudden, I was like, what's that? Like, this noise started. By mile like 6, the whole car was like this, to the point where I was given a lot of reason to freak the F out. And I watched the mind. The mind was like, first of all, like, no, you know what I mean? No. And then I was like, making plans in my head, like, oh God, like, I might have to call Geico, and then trying to be positive that I have Geico to tow me if need be. And then the mind was like reeling off. So I was like, I was like, all is working for me. All is working for me. And it was really scary, right? Like it was getting so bad to where I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it home. This isn't looking very likely. And then I was like, fuck that. I'm going to make it home. And my dad's a race car driver. I know the ass end out of cars, right? So I'm like, I knew to slow down. You know, I'm doing what I know to do to like be safe. But it was that feeling where you're like, woo, this is getting close. You know what I mean? And you're watching the miles go down, so you're like, I'm so close. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. But what I recall was the internal decision to where I was even playing with it. I was like, okay, so if it's working for me, which seems very unideal, keeping in mind I have no money in the bank account to do anything about anything, I was like, maybe, I was thinking about my dad. I was like, maybe this will be the thing that forces him to get me a car from here because I won't have a car, right? I was trying to just flip it of how it was working for me, okay? So lo and behold, I get to the road, the gas station, where I was like, that became the blessing. I was like, I bloody made it, right? So I go to the tire thing, the air, and I was like, you know, do I have a low tire? And I'm looking, they look good. I get to the last one, and I was like, holy shit. This thing was flat as flat could be. Like, I was driving on a full-on flat tire probably for 7 miles, okay? And I'm looking at wire hanging out. Like, it was shredded, okay? And I was like, I kind of disassociated at that point where I was like, because I knew I could do nothing about it. There was nothing I could do except roll it home. And something told me to, like, it was like wishful thinking, because I was like, the only thing I could possibly do as far as what's in my power is patch it. But you should have seen it, Joseph. So, but still, I followed my intuition, and I walk into the shop. Mind you, I'm in the stick, so it's like Hickville, right? So I remember going in, and I was just scanning for men. You could almost hear the Wild West music, you know what I'm saying? Or and I saw a dude, he was like this old dude, no teeth, you know. And I was like, "Excuse me, sir."
Country
dude?
folk.
Yeah. What?
Country folk.
Totally, country folk. Excuse me. Yes. And I was like, excuse me, do you know anything about cars? And he's like, and I was like, tires? And he's like, eh. And so I was like, can I show you something? And so I had to wait for him to pay, right? He happened to be there. He happened to be paying. And now here begins where I had every reason to judge, to refrain from engagement, etc., right? But I was going on intuition in my flow. This was my flow. And so I bring him out, and I said, you know, brace yourself. I know what you're going to say to me, but I just have to ask because it's my only option. I want you to look and tell me, like, is anything possible? And he goes to it, and you can imagine what his face read, which was like, you're effed. And I was like, yeah, Because what had happened, by the way, is I started filling with air, and you watch the whole car lift up, right? Where I was like, dang. But then immediately you heard the sound, because you can imagine how much air was releasing at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what it was at the shop. So he gives me the confirmation that it needs to be replaced, and there's no ifs about it. And I was like, he goes, don't worry. There's that tire place half-mile down the road. And I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, no, it's okay. I don't have the money for a tire. I was like, but thank you so much. I just wanted the validation that, like, I'm not tripping. Like, I have to replace it. And he's like, no, it's just down the road. And I said, I know, sir. I just don't have the money to buy a tire right now, but that's okay. I live right across the street. I'll just roll it home. And he goes, I have money. And now here begins the first opportunity to block my blessings, right? Because he's a man, right? Why would anyone help me? Look at him, right? All that. And he repeated, he goes, I got loads of cash in my wallet. He's like, hop in my truck. And he goes, what's the tire size? And I'm on my knees and I'm saying it, and he has a pen and he's writing it on his hand. And he's like, tell you what, let's hop in my truck and we'll go and see if they have one. If they do, I'll help you out. Can you imagine all the opportunities where I could be like, nah, it's all right. And I've lived a long life. So, like, yeah, a lot of opportunities. And I was like, go in your truck? Like, what? Like, he's like basically saying, why drive your car and injure it if they don't have it anyway? Mm-hmm. And I was like, are you going to kill me? And and we had a laugh, right? And I could read energy well, and I didn't feel any threat. And so I was like, well, let's go with the flow. And so I jump in his truck, and it's this disaster. The whole windscreen's broken. I can barely get my body in because of all the crap in it, you know. And another opportunity. This other country folk comes with like one eye, and he's like, hey, look at my new girlfriend. And I was like, I like give him a bollocking for it. And I was like, don't start that shit with me, right? But again, the energy was playful because I was perceiving it as that. Do you know what I mean? And I was starting to have fun with it. And he drives me to the shop where he happens to know the owner, because, you know, around here everyone knows everyone. And there happens to be one tire left, but what he was offering was to get me a used tire. But there was only one left that size, but it was brand new. This man so lovingly and not weirdly at all bought me a $136 tire out of the goodness of his heart. And I was home within 40 minutes of the issue happening with a brand new bloody tire, completely free. And we laughed the whole time. We were taking the piss out of each other. He was asking me these deep, like, philosophical questions. It was just, my brain was like, everything's working for me. And I ended up experiencing love when the outside gave me so many reasons to be like, this is going to feel uncomfortable. This is going to end poorly. He's going to flirt with me. Not one icky bit of energy came at me. We high-fived it. He left and went on his way. And I was like, do you feel good? Because you just did the most amazing thing. He's like, I feel great. And it was just all love. And I had to share it.
That's wonderful. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. And yeah, there's so many. That's the thing, is like, you either have an opportunity to see how things are for you, and then you'll experience that, or you have opportunities to see how you're not, and then you'll experience that. Like, that really is. I love how many people are just talking about Ryan cooking, and we should make a cooking channel. Oh, that's so good. Ryan is a legend. Yeah, Ryan. Ryan, you there, brother? You didn't get burnt in that fire you're cooking on your stove, did you? Yeah, but congratulations, Voice Ball. That's so cool. That's badass. And
I thought it was pretty cool, like, for a mundane subject like that. But it was all around the fear of money, being stranded, guilting myself for not having the money. You know, there were so many opportunities to go out of flow. You know what I mean? And for it to be a loving experience, which broke all the barriers of a lot of beliefs I have, it was really fun. It was undeniable proof yet again.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's awesome. That's awesome. Just another experience, another symbol, of love that you are being projected on the screen of space.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I was being love.
Yeah.
I felt love. I wasn't pretending for comfort reasons. Like, I was choosing that's who I am. Like, I'm like that with people. And Ryan, I just told him a tire story. I'll go now to give whoever space, but I just had to share it because I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna get Viking Mama in here, and then we'll get you in here, Glow, because Viking Mama was trying before. Let's see if we can actually get her in here.
Joseph, can you kick me out? Because I don't know how
I sure can. I got you. See you later. Yo, what up, Viking?
Hey, I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh my God, we made contact. Like, I don't know what's wrong with my, my connection here. I'll try to make it short. Thank you so much. I was going to save it for the school,
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow, but I'll try to make it short because you guys have been here forever. I actually had movement with my ex, with my SP.
There's another one. Viking Mama, please make a
Well,
success story. We have like 20
no,
people get success stories and no
but
one's
wait a
making
minute.
success
It's not,
stories.
it's success, but it's movement. Okay, I guess that's success. But
Yeah.
my brain is so wired for negativity, so that's why I need help.
Yep.
Because he actually drove by my house with his daughter, who I've missed forever. Like, I was so close to them. Like, for 3 years we were together, and it was amazing. And then I wished them a happy birthday, and then he said something about, hey, I need some help with this health thing that's going on for him, because I'm in the health industry stuff. And he was asking me questions, so I said, okay, yeah, great, I'm away right now, but I'll text you when I'm back. So I texted him, and we got on the phone, and he was talking to me, and it was great. Like, we were just, catching up. Like, it just felt so natural. But then he was like, oh, okay, good night. And he said good night to somebody, and I flipped. I went into crazy stories because I was like, why would he talk to his daughter like that? So it's not her. It's got to be that other third party that I'm trying not to be insecure about, but it really devastated me because that's who he went to right after we split. And she's like my doppelganger in a sense, but doing everything that I wanted to do in my life. So there's a lot of comparison in myself of being whatever, just not being enough. So then I did the rabbit hole thing, which I haven't done, but I did it. And I searched her up a little bit more, did my research, and got even more insecure because she's younger. She's like a lot younger than me. And anyway, so that's where I'm at. My brain couldn't take the experience to be like, hey, he reached out and this is really great. And I went into, yeah, he's probably living with her. And I'm just too afraid to even ask him, like, if they're together. I'm trying to like not even give it any energy, but obviously I am. You know what I mean? It's like I am way too much energy. And I had a full-blown panic attack. Like, it was just this place that I hate that I go into. And I tried to, flip the script. I just had to say, listen, you don't know anything. He's with his daughter, and that's what it is. And you guys connected, and it's amazing. And we'll see where it goes. I don't know where it's going to go. But there you go. So I'm trying to keep it short for you guys because you don't need to hear all the details.
Yeah, congratulations on the movement, right? So there's a lot of things here. Number one, there's a lot of healthcare professionals, so it makes no sense for them to reach out to you unless it's a bridge of incidences. Number two is that there is no 3P, right? Like, what we experience in our outside reality is that we first imagine our SPs with the 3P, and then we see proof of it. So it was created by our imagining, and it's also going to be removed by our imagining, which means that we no longer imagine that they have a third party. And because as long as we're saying there's a third party there, we are giving life to that existing. So it's about removing, anytime an idea comes up about a third party, you go back to remembering that you're in a loving relationship now, right? And so the thing that makes this hard is because we are fourth dimensional beings experiencing this 3D avatar that's walking through space, has senses. And so really what we're learning is how to imagine based upon our true self, not our limited 0.0000001% self that only sees this set things being a certain way. So you're learning to not base your imagining. I made a video on this, and this is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful creative videos I've made. If I break a vase, I then have to have linear thinking. My next step is to get Gorilla Glue, watch a YouTube video on how to put that shit together, or I can go buy another vase that looks like that, right? That's linear thinking. Fourth dimensional thinking, or being the creator thinking, the kingdom of heaven is within you thinking, is there's both a unloving or I'm not in a relationship or my person's with somebody, and there's also the state of I'm in a loving relationship now that exists. Whatever one I become conscious of is the one that will express in my space. So you see, fundamentally, if I keep entertaining the idea that there's a third party, there cannot not be one. It's impossible because there is no other power in your reality. It's not like it's just there by accident. Here's the thing I came to fundamentally. Here's the reality of it. Either A, you create your reality, or B, you don't. There's no in between this. Either you are the cause or you are not the cause. There is no hot and cold to this. So we know then that if I change my state, my outside changes, this must mean 100% across the board, it is me in every way, shape, and form. Or 100% across the board, what I do within me has no impact. There's not an in-between. There's no hot and cold on this subject. So we know then, being in law of assumption, that if I change something or if I imagine something I create, this must mean then that everything that I experience, I create. So then this must mean then that I must change me and what I'm holding in my consciousness to have a change. Nessa, thank you for the heart, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. So, yeah. I get it, and I'm trying. It's just I feel like I mean, I've created third parties in so many other situations and other relationships, but like I'm really in love with this guy, so I want to really shift this. And I guess like I feel like I'm possessed with those thoughts, of like they have their own energy to them that I can't control. I'm comparing myself to her. She lives in the same town. She has she's totally confident, amazing shape, like everything, right? And I know even now I'm talking too much about it. I get it.
Did you see? I don't know if you follow me. Did you see I made a post yesterday on TikTok about reacting.
I didn't see it. No.
Yeah, check that out.
Okay.
Because what happens is when we're reacting, we're basically saying there's secondary causes. The outer reality controls me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what may be helpful, everything Joseph said, spot on. What may be helpful, I found for myself, and still to this day, is a lot of times when we get in that fight or flight mode, it's really hard to be present because the mind activity is going to be nonstop. And that's because you're in survival mode. And so you have to pull yourself out of survival mode first, because otherwise you're going to be fighting yourself the entire time.
That you just hit it on the head. Yeah, because I'm learning right now the hypervigilance of my brain from all the crappy stuff that's happened in the past, and I know I can shift that. But I definitely am in this hypervigilance of trying to find something, right? So it's that anxiety, panic state that hits.
Yeah, and so you need to first get in a calm state, and then when you stop reacting. When I talked about it, is the reticular activating system in our mind. It will search for problems to mirror who we're being. It'll quit search for problems, and then you'll be able to be calm, and then that'll start storing as your new normal. That'll be your that calm state. And so now you're aligning. Now you're literally rewiring yourself to align with your desire.
So when you get into so let's just say I was in a really good calm state, but then that one thing that my brain went bing, uh-oh, danger, Will Robinson, and I couldn't. So when you what's like a quick, I know you probably have said this and I've heard you, but what is a quick when your nervous system gets activated like that so quickly? I go from 0 to 100. Other people would probably, that would take them a long time. Me, 0 to 100.
Yeah.
No, you're normal. You're normal.
I am?
That's normal.
Yeah.
Everybody reacts like that. That's why they're experiencing the situation they are. That's part of the belief. That's how a belief works.
Yeah. And I would say what Joseph said earlier. Try that. What he said. Putting your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and then focus on that, the pressure on the roof of your mouth, and you'll find that your thoughts stop. So the whole point is to disengage. You just want to.
I've done that in the past. I've done that meditation technique. It's the way in point.
Yeah.
It's the okay.
And so you can do that. I'll take a deep breath for 7 seconds, hold it for 7 seconds, and breathe out, and then do something like that. Put the tongue in your mouth, and what you're doing is you're calming your nervous system. So
I think it's just remembering to do it though. That's my problem. I'm in total reaction, and I'm not. I literally freaking spiraled out and called my friend. I'm like, I'm having a full-blown panic attack because of this. Like, this is insanity. I know better, but I'm in it.
Yeah, it's
You
okay.
know?
Like Joseph said, it's normal. It's common, and so it's just bringing yourself back to presence and recognizing you're the awareness.
Okay.
And as you do that, you're going to observe your thoughts instead of identify with them.
Okay.
And that's
All right.
the whole goal.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
That's great.
Here's a pro tip. Pro tip: the only thing that would work for me, because like I generally believe I used to have BPD. And the reason why is when I researched it, I
Right.
was one of those people. I researched
Yeah, me
anxiety
too.
attachment. I researched secure attachment. I researched all this shit. And a lot of characteristics I had was both ADHD and I had BPD, which is like the most intense mental illness you can possibly have, right? So I would disassociate a lot of the times from whenever I had some circumstance outside. I was very, very, very reactive all of the time. And the only thing I found that would work, to the point, let me first share, I would have those zappers, those zappers where it like shocks your ears. It's supposed to help with coordinating your brain or whatever. My
Yeah,
counselor gave me
yeah.
that. I'd be shocking my ears for like 12 hours a day.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
It was supposed to create normal whatever voltage in your brain. Apparently mine was like the equivalent of a city like electrical thing because it just never seemed to power
It
enough.
doesn't work. I know.
Yep.
Yep.
But what I realized is that Dr. Joe Dispenza's not a meditation. It's what he does, has you do before the meditation. It is the most profound thing. I don't give a shit how messed up your nervous system is. If you do that meditation or that breath work exercise, you will become present. It is so powerful. It's a combination of things. I was reflecting on it. Number one, what's causing all those thoughts and those emotions is your mind continuously thinking, because at that time you're having 10,000 thoughts and all those thoughts are negative, which is then, as I talk about, you have a thought, you have emotional response. And that emotion then feeds that thought. And so it's this cycle that is unable to be broken, which puts you into an emotional and mental down cycle. So that needs to be broken. So when you do this breath work, what it does is it consciously forces you to take your attention off of the story that your mind keeps forcing you to obsess upon. And it's cutting off that link that is powering that emotional thought pattern that's now being generated. So
So it's like repatterning in that brain when you're doing it.
correct, you're removing your attention from the story, which is creating all the suffering you're experiencing and the reactivity.
Right.
So you start doing it. Well, and then the thing you said is, well, I don't remember. You will, because eventually you'll come to a place where you're tired of suffering and experiencing things you don't want to experience it and go, oh shit, let me just breathe.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, because everything you're saying, it's like ding, ding, ding. Yes, I identify with all of that for sure. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. And, I'm so grateful to have found you all to just kind of bring this together in a very beautiful, deep way. So thank you.
Thank you, Viking. We look forward to your success. Like I said, it's literally bringing more consciousness. This is all I talk about is flow, is because these reactivities and these emotions are creating a circumstance we don't want. As we flow more, those leave us. So guess what happens? Our SP comes back. It's just what it is. It's literally that reactivity,
Yeah.
that emotional responses to our
Well,
SP. That's what's stopping it. That's it.
and
That's the
the
only thing.
crazy thing is that I got to a point like with other creators of like these constant affirmations, and my
Uh-huh.
subconscious was like, "Fuck you, man! You're not. What the fuck are you doing? Like, oh yeah, I'm a millionaire," and you're like, "I have $2 in my bank account." Like it was such resistance because I think my subconscious was really like, "No, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're gonna hold on to that story. It's not real," and you guys, but the work you're doing is really bringing in that piece of presence, bringing in the piece of awareness and consciousness. And I remember vaguely that in Goddard's teachings, I think at some point he would go in his dialogues with groups to that state of now we're going to have silence, or now we're going to, I remember hearing a lecture.
Continuously.
Right? Yeah. And I feel like it's like I've gone to meditation and you would meditate, but not like this. It's just such a great, like, I know I'm babbling, but it's like, it's the missing link I feel for myself right now. Now I just have to figure out how to implement it. So and really put it part of my, daily activity. And when I get triggered, to know not to like spiral so far, which, yeah.
I love that you share that too, because that's what I observe is that although I observe a lot of people reading the same book, we're both reading Neville. I got a different understanding, right? Like some people are saying, "Oh, affirm all day,"
Yeah.
and I didn't find that to be the truth. I found that to be the truth of like, "Hey, catch the feeling," is what Neville was saying. And then when I heard him describe how he's imagining, he would talk about a mood. Like for instance, one that I always share is when he was leaving Barbados, he didn't plan to come back because he knew he could just imagine himself back, but he needed to go back to New York. Now, here was the
Yeah.
beautiful thing. Neville talks about placing himself there consciously, but he talks about the mood of nostalgia of missing his family and also the excitement of going back. Is that not an emotion? Yes, it
Yeah.
is. He
Yeah.
talks about it continuously.
Yeah.
And I find they go hand in hand with my state. And to me, the fact that it's not known I'm almost baffled by the fact that there's even conversations that go, oh, I don't need to catch the mood. I've been paying attention to my inner state for the last 15 years, and I can tell you my mood is very intimate to what thoughts I am accepting or what assumption I am having. They're intimate. It can't be any other way because the thoughts are your brain and the mood is representation of your body, which is the subconscious. If I change my assumption, my mood will change. It's just
Yeah.
common sense, right? It's not even like it's a new idea that's being shared. And if you look back at any experience you've had in your life, not taking my word for it, but looking back at any experience in your life, when you started feeling better about something, that thing showed up in a loving manner for you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's not like I'm
100%. Yeah.
recreating the wheel. I'm simply just pushing the truth of how like creations work for themselves and for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely am seeing shifts all the time, like somebody repeating my thought. Even the way he came back, he was repeating my thought. Like I visualized what he was going to say to me, and it was crazy. He was saying it out loud. He was like calling me like by a funny name that we have, and I was like, "Oh my God, this stuff maybe it really does work."
Well, and pay attention. Did you pay attention to your mood up until the reactivity? Were you starting to feel better?
Yeah, I was feeling better, and then I reacted. It was like I was feeling
Thank
good,
you.
like it was feeling easy to talk to him. Like we didn't
Yep.
skip a beat. Everything was like
Yep.
it was crazy. It was like we were together and we hadn't skipped a beat. And then it was just that one thing, yeah, that just threw me. So,
There it is.
okay, well, thank you. Gosh, you guys, thank you so much.
Love it.
Really,
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Viking
that's
sharing.
Mama.
great. All right, I'll
Lovely
catch you on the
conversation. Appreciate you.
school. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Glow, welcome up. You will probably be the last call. We've been on this mud sharker for quite a while.
3 hours.
Yeah, we've been on this bitch for a long ass time.
Hello, Joseph. Hi, Ryan. How are
Yo,
you?
what up? Shit, I meant to invite Glow. Oh, let me
Okay,
let me
okay.
have
I can
let me
go
have Glow
down.
come on here first. I promised Glow that I let her go.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh,
Sorry for the confusion.
hi.
Hello, what's going on?
Hi. Hey. Uh,
Hi.
it's so good to finally talk to you. I've been on these lives for a while.
Yeah, I never.
Same. Thanks for being here, Glow. We love you.
Oh, thank you. My name stands for Give Love Often, so
Mm,
everything is on brand.
love it.
Fire.
I think just very similar to everyone here. And hello, my name is Glow. I'm addicted to the 3D. Uh, and
I
things
love
have
it.
been um,
Hi,
interesting. Like,
Glow.
hi,
Welcome.
KJX is here, and she always sends like we send each other the lives. We're like, like our older brothers are on, and we send it to each other. But yeah, I've had an interesting like 4 days in a row now, and uh, I'm using the word interesting accurately in that they're perfect days, and they're perfect because I'm perfect. Because right, we're just removing like other people's thoughts, programs, like what the 3D has shown me. But yeah, but at the core of who I am, my identity is I'm perfect. So every day perfect, every thought perfect, every emotion perfect, everybody perfect. Like I'm just it's getting to a point where like it's automatic now. And like Joseph, you were mentioning, like I don't even really have to affirm because I'm already like affirming, but I'm not like consciously affirming. It's just it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I am also going to, because I'm also affirming, or I'm also, I believe that everything is perfect. So even my emotional spiraling out, even my negative, quote unquote, negative emotions, because I'm the only person that gives my emotions meaning, right? Because I think somebody in the world could look at my happy emotions and say that they're bad. So I give every emotion meaning. So, what I give meaning to my negative emotions and my spiraling out, even those are perfect. And so I'm accepting and I'm loving and I'm embracing myself. And so these past 4 days, it's like equal gratitude, but also equal, like, I hate these gargoyles because now that I'm starting to really like dive into who I am, the identity of who I am creator, I am God, my gargoyles have run out. They're running out like Usain Bolt style. And they're like, here we go! Like she's changing, she's trying to think better, like thoughts, she's trying to, and so that has been really tough. And of course, like when that happens, my 3D, my 3D is also, yeah. So I think like the shortest way to say this is my SP is, so we'll never know because we can't read his mind. But my 3D is my SP is traveling right now, and I was telling myself the past 4 days, like, nope, he's not gonna go. It's gonna get canceled. The plane is gonna fall like from the sky. It's gonna crash. Like, and but I'm like, but again, like I recognize, like, man, the only person that's suffering here is me. And so it's not a question. It is a question, but I don't know how to form a question. So if you can like guide me to ask the question. It's just, yeah, the past 4 days have been difficult, but also not difficult. They've been perfect too.
Yeah, well, you're doing lovely. A lot of lovely thinking. A couple of thoughts that probably you wouldn't prefer, that came up, but um, my suggestion is like let go of the idea that SP is separate from you. That's like the main thing that I want to talk about. Is you suggest that you don't know what SP is thinking, which is implying secondary causes, or is implying separation, which are both untrue. It's only as this 3D avatar. If I identify as this 3D avatar, do I see things as separation? There is only consciousness, and so when I decide that I'm in a loving relationship with my wife, um, I am deciding for both of us what our relationship looks like, right? Because that's fundamentally how creation works. That's how I manifested her back, is I decided that I was in a loving relationship. If I would have looked at what she said and took that in consideration, there's no way in hell I'd be in a loving relationship with her. So it's fundamentally up to me to decide that I'm in a loving relationship now. And I talked about this in several lives because it's so important. I'll tell you, the number one thing that caused me a pain in my ass and had my wife appearing hot and cold, which fundamentally came from me being hot and cold, was I kept looking to my wife to go, what is she thinking? What does she think about this? How does she feel about this? That is the number one thing. I will tell you, that is the number one thing that causes people a pain in their ass, including me, is thinking that my wife is somehow looking to her for how she's thinking instead of me deciding. So important. It's so important. Because if I think to them, guess what happens? Let's say I say, Glow, what do you think of this? Let's say you don't respond within 10 seconds or something. I don't know. And then I go, what is Glow thinking? Guess what it's going to do? I'm going to judge based on appearances. She didn't like what I just said. Glow was probably hurt by what it is that I just said. Glow maybe doesn't want to talk to me. You see, this is very common. Pay attention to it in yourself. Obviously, again, don't take anything I'm saying for what I'm saying. But we've all experienced this. Now, if I go, instead, I go within and I decide, go to the end of it, Glow and I have a harmonious relationship, and I stay here, guess what will happen? You'll pop up in harmony with the assumption that I just decided for both of us. Quote unquote for both of us. Again, your separation is only seen through the 3D self. But I understand that fundamentally there is only one. And so when I'm deciding, I'm just deciding, right? Because you really don't fundamentally exist in my reality. You're a shadow. So then you'll show up in a loving relationship. So this is the thing here, is that if you start going, I wonder what he's doing, why he's not responding, I can guarantee you your imagination is not lovely, nor is it from the premise of you being the way that you desire to be, nor is it from the premise of something that you love. I can guarantee it. So that's something that absolutely everyone that wants to control the reality has to take control over, is that you stop thinking or imagining that somebody's thinking separate from you. And then you'll succeed. It becomes a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. It's sinking. Ryan, were you gonna say something?
No, I'm letting it just sink in.
I think it's Joseph. I've heard it before on these lives. Um, Okay. Yeah, you're right. And we've all done it. We've all done the, wait, why is he not responding to me? Like, even if it's 10 seconds, and I'll go into a very like automatically negative place. Sometimes it can be neutral. But yeah, that's interesting. So are you saying it's like an Olympic sport? Like you just have to attack it like every day? Like Michael Phelps used to swim for 8 hours a day. Like, do we just have to practice like an Olympic athlete?
Well, that's the whole point of why Ryan and I created the school communities, because I found that all of my heartaches and my problems came from not staying consistent in this. I treated manifestation like it was like a diet phase.
Yeah.
You know, I felt shitty, so I started dieting. Or I don't know, I was single, so I wanted to get buff so that I could get more girls or something like this, right? It was just like, it wasn't a lifestyle. It was like I did it to get something. And that's how most people treat manifesting. So I realized the most positive way that I could impact somebody's life is by creating a community where they're continuously reminded to practice this information on a continuous basis so that they can purify their mind. And then here's the cool thing. Once you understand fully who you are, then you can teach somebody else who doesn't remember who they are temporarily at the time. So the thing is does it seem like work for some time? Yes. Now, the reason why is because you've picked up a lot of things over the years that you identified with as being true, which then created circumstances that showed you that it was true. And then now you're trying to purify the mind when in the back of your mind you're going, but I know that this has been accurate. For me, it was hard because my life was catastrophic for years. I mean, I had so many years where my life was just shit. And then all of a sudden I come across a 7-day mental emotion and it's like, oh, just think positive. You create your reality. Everything's good. Rainbows and orgasms everywhere for everybody. And it's like, fuck do you mean? I was experiencing so much hell. I'm all of a sudden supposed to just experience that life is just this wonderful dream and it's all up to me. And so there was a transition period between being negative about everything to being optimistic. But what I found is that it was me. I'm optimistic, just like by default, I used to be negative for absolutely no reason. Well, I could have gave you a bunch, but realistically, it was for no reason. I am now positive for no reason. And my life mirrors both states that I'm in. Because life is me, right? It's not separate from me. This is why I always think it's funny when people are like, oh, I hate this, I hate that. It's like, it's literally you. Life is an expression of you. Life is an outpicture of you. Don't hate it. Understand what it's showing you and then change it, release it. So does it take some work? Yes. I did many mental diets before I purified my mind. When I say many, I mean many. And now for the most part, it's pretty automatic now. Now I don't consciously have to continue to keep picking weeds out of my garden in my mind. Sometimes I do, and I'm grateful for the opportunity because that's exactly what it is, an opportunity. I notice that how often I am me, or how often I'm in flow, or how often I recognize God consciousness, whatever term you want to use. The deeper that I am in flow, the more that life reflects back to me deeper and deeper levels of blessings. That is what I've correlated. The more I'm in flow, the more that I am as I am, the more that I am authentically me, the more that life shows me blessings in larger quantities, directly proportionate. Thank you for the heart, KJX. I appreciate you.
I think AJX the best, truly the best.
She's dope boy fresh.
Dope boy fresh.
There you go. If you guys haven't heard that song, by the way, here's another cool thing I'll say today for you, those of you listening. Listen to 3-6 Mafia, Dope Boy Fresh.
AIA, the mic is all yours.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, what up?
How are you, Joseph? How are you, Ryan? I'm so glad to talk to you again.
Lovely to have you here.
Me too. My English not that good, but I hope you will understand me.
Perfect.
I'm very familiar with manifestation. I manifest my work. I manifest my weight loss. I manifest the new neighborhood we are going to move on. I manifest everything in my life. I'm very familiar. I have a ton of success story about manifesting a very, very good things into my life. I was not doing this with really it was manifesting. I was sleeping in a state like saying I am the best account manager in my company, and after that everyone say this to me and make me the executive on other account manager. I'm very familiar with manifestation, but when it comes to my specific person, I can't do anything. I can't do anything. Very helpless. I can't help myself. Yani, last time you say to me, just stop fighting with him in your mind. I can't stop reacting to what he do, what he say. He say he's not the same person anymore. He doesn't want our relationship. We was in a casual situationship for more than 3 years. His divorce with kid. He gave me all the things I want, but I have a very, very low self-concept. I'm trying now to work on my self-concept, but I can't do this work. I finish all the affirmation for him, scripting. I see signs for everything. I know this man gonna be my husband. I watch your video, Joseph, in loop. Your video of manifestation, your wife. I saw Ryan videos. I'm always watching that. I know he's gonna be my husband, but the 3D make me like crazy. I can't stop reacting. He's not with me. I can't go to the state that I have this relationship. I am in it. I have him. I can't. This is going me crazy. 3 or 4 months, I have nothing to do. Withering, crying, shouting at him, reach out from the place of need and fear, and ending up he don't want to talk to me again. I go to calm state, talk to him, but I can't. I am in this state. I can't control myself.
Well, hey, thank you so much. Thank you for providing us with an opportunity to have a lovely conversation, first off. Second off, the thing that I would suggest is, number one, there's just so much, there's so much focus of him.
Yes.
There's so much focus
All
of
about
outside. There's so much focus. And as I talk with Glow, that is the number one downfall of people, is that they're looking to SP to be the way they want to be. That's the number one downfall. I did this in my earlier stages too, hence why I was doing all the affirmations, because I thought I was doing them to get something. When actually what I was doing was to feel that I am something, to recognize who I am, to be the way I want to be. That's fundamentally the point behind it. Because the thing is, and I share this every live, because it's so true, is no one who manifests their SP is fucking excited about it. They may be like, oh, that's cool, or I'm happy, but they are not in a place of need or want or lack. I guarantee you, you can't be. It's impossible. Because your state is what creates. If I'm in a state of lack, I cannot experience abundance. It just can't happen. It's like planting an apple seed and getting an orange. It just doesn't work that way. It wouldn't be fair systematically. And furthermore, you wouldn't be God. So the thing is focus within you. Focus on your state of being. Focus on recognizing you're that way, not to get something, but to be something. This is where you get something, right? Is that you go within, it's a simple acknowledgement. How do I be something? A simple acknowledgement. I have the desire. I want to be in a loving relationship. I am that way now. Done. I am now in a loving relationship. What would deny that I'm in a loving relationship? I could only suggest in my mind. That's it.
When I say affirmation, it's all about him. I can't stay in affirmation like I am chosen, I am unforgettable. I can't. I have this problem. I can't stay in it's not about me. It's all time about him, and he feel the need. He feel the need. He feel me when I talk from desperate. He feel all of this. This is
Are
make
you
me
part of the
like
school community,
crazy.
AA?
No.
I would definitely check it out because like a lot of the things you're like, it would be extremely helpful to you because you get 4 calls a week with us where we have conversations like this, right? And we talk about flow, plus you get my flow course, plus you get the 10-day mental and
Okay.
emotional diet. These things would definitely help you.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the energy you're having is like, it's very like need and panicking, which just says that the state of consciousness you're in is like, so we first have to like go into the silence. Remember who you are. Take a step back. Go back into the being the awareness, remembering that this whole thing is a Alice in Wonderland. It's just it's a playing field. You don't get anything from this. When you realize the truth, which every single great teacher since the beginning of the time has, which is that your consciousness, your God experiencing itself, there is nothing for you to obtain. You have a 3D body, which is here to experience God, or God's vessel to experience itself here. But you are not the body. And the body is the only thing that can obtain something. And since you aren't the body, nothing is there for you to obtain. There's only here for you to experience, for you to observe. Because you'll notice that when you sit in awareness, you simply observe. Awareness does not think. That's what the personality does. Awareness observes. So that means that I am observing the personality experience itself, or rather God using the personality to experience itself. So all I do is observe. The body may seem to take action. I observe. The body may seem to have emotions. I observe. The mind may think to think. I observe. You see?
Okay.
There is detachment, and yet here's the beautiful thing that comes from this is look at what happens to every spiritual teacher that's detached. From Sung Guru, or whatever the hell his name is, to Alan Watts, to Eckhart Tolle, are they not all extremely abundant and happy and blissful and successful in experiencing love as a byproduct of being as they are? Is not every single one of them financially free, living a life of total bliss and love? So the funny thing is the mind, which is part of the personality, which is part of the ego, says that, oh, this won't do anything for me. I have to figure out, and I have to keep doing this, and I have to keep doing this, which is, if you pay attention to most people, if they're actually honest with themselves and sat down to reflect on what I'm talking about, they would realize they've been suffering most of their lives. So what they're doing has been causing suffering for them. The moment that they hear Joseph talk about awareness, though, they automatically want to leave. It's an automatic thing. They don't consciously think of this, of course. But they automatically want to leave and go to somebody else who encourages them to think more. That encourages them to suffer more. Because that's what creates the mind activity. Is suffering, is problems, is more mind activity. The thing that's going to set you free is not the mind, or is not rather the ego. The thing that's going to set you free is remembering who you are, which is silence. And that's all we talk about in the school community. And that's why so many people succeed, is because we are talking about the most important thing. It's not about adding more of a personality. It's not about getting something. It's about remembering who you are, which the brain resists because the brain goes, no, I need it. Pay attention to anything you ever got in your reality. You were happy for a couple of days at most. And then look at that same thing within a couple of days more, you were suffering about it. Either you were going to lose it, it was problematic, it didn't give you happiness anymore. That same thing that you thought was going to bring you so much happiness then caused you suffering. Or at least in mind, you told yourself this. It was all the ego. But my point is that what you're wanting is to know who you are. Neville talks about this in his book. He says, you will come to a place where you awaken from the dream, where you awaken in your skull. Well, what is he referring to? Same thing I am. You will realize that you are consciousness. You are not this illusory self that is causing all this suffering and this continuous need to complete itself in some form outside of you. You are that which is the observer, that is silent, that is whole, that is fulfillment, that which is nothing yet is everything. That's who you are.
Okay.
So join the school. Long story short, join the school.
Okay.
And I guarantee you, mark my words, if you join within a week, you will be drastically different. Probably within that time, you'll even have movement from your SP. I see it continuously. That's why I'm so confident in it. I see it absolutely continuously.
You see what, Valis? Can you say again?
I see people manifesting their SP continuously, just like Viking Mama just got. I see that at least 2 to 3 times every day of people that before joining the group couldn't get movement. All of a sudden within a week are getting movement. It happens all the time. It's why it's successful.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph. I will join the community. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for the conversation. Guys, we are jumping off. We've been on this mug for a long time. I love y'all. The flow is ended for today, and we will catch you tomorrow. Austin, thanks for hanging out with us, brother.
Peace, man. Good to talk to you guys.
Peace.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you, guys.
perfect.
Later.